Doo-doo. Are you ready?
Yeah,
No.
not even close.
Oh,
Nope.
slightly?
No. My urge to perish grows greater by the day.
Oh, well. What the fuck? Wait, what? Oh, yeah, yeah, the entities are a metaphor for capitalism. How does that make you feel?
Brain damaged.
Yeah. I mean, he is Canadian, though, so...
Is this what it's like to be the average Canadian?
Yes. What do you guys want to do?
Go back to bed.
That's fair.
Let's see.
Bleach?
You
Naruto?
know what? Is there a Bleach 40K crossover?
You know what? There probably is, and it's probably gonna suck shit. But you know what? Let's do it.
Why the fuck would there be?
Why? Because people are stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And here's the thing, right? I could see like making.
I'm sorry. What the fuck is this?
What fresh hell did you find?
Okay. Okay.
I was gonna say before you go off on that, I was gonna say I could see someone being like, yeah. Soul Society is part of the warp.
Yeah.
So like I could see it. I don't think it'd be a very good idea.
The Emperor is what, the Soul King?
I was gonna say you could make the Emperor the Soul King, or you could have just had it that the Emperor, all the Emperor's been doing is sending people.
Well, I mean,
to
the Soul King
Society.
is also a corpse on a pedestal powering the entire thing, so...
I mean, you could very well just have it be that that's what the 1,000 psychers a day is powering is Soul Society.
And Soul Society is the ordered warp where the Emperor keeps all of the souls of the Materium.
Which, I mean, honestly, that's fine. Like,
it'd be dumb.
There's no real. I'm not saying it's not dumb, but there's no real contradictions there.
Yeah, I know.
Soul Society is a very ordered, hierarchical place. So yeah.
Yeah, and then they kill hollows, which are basically demons, and yeah, it works.
That doesn't mean it's not stupid.
No, it's stupid as fuck. Yeah, no, completely stupid as fuck. Why would you ever read it? But so the reason why I said whoa is because I clicked onto the Bleach section, and the first story I saw was Identity Crisis with some purple-haired feminist as a cover. And what it actually is a hurt drama comfort story where Ichigo's gay with his own soul. Which, would that be incest or masturbation?
Both, I think.
What?
I think it's both.
Maybe.
Don't forget, part of his soul is his mom's soul.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he is an ugly little abomination, isn't he?
Yeah, because remember, he took back part of his mother's soul from the Fisher King or whatever the hollow was.
Yeah.
So in Ichigo's case, it's definitely like if it wasn't Ichigo, very difficult question. Luckily, Ichigo simplifies it. Both. The answer is both.
Unfortunately, simplifies it in ways that we never wanted it to be simplified.
This is awful.
12 Warhammer stories. Okay.
You know what? That is 10 more stories than I thought there would be.
We got Bleach Covenant. Rukia and Hisana are the leaders of the Necrotier who rejected the Satan.
Oh, the Necron tier. Okay. Rukia is now a metal skeleton.
Oh,
I just,
Keep going. Let's see.
you know,
Where's this
it's
go?
like we came up with a really dumb idea, and I was like, "There's no way someone's gonna make a stupider idea than this." So, what part of this is Bleach?
I don't know yet. We'll find out. Other than if it might
Instead
just be...
of rediscovering ancient necromancy arts of their Nekahara ancestors, okay, so you're just blatantly going to.
That's not how that works.
Okay.
At all. Not in any capacity how that works.
For this, wait, yeah. So wait, yeah, they rejected the Satan, instead went towards necromancy. Okay, so they're not metal people; they're corpses.
I mean, they
Skeleton.
already are.
They
Okay.
were cast out of the Necrontyr Empire and are now at war against the Necron, who have reached the Soul Society, as both have discovered that Nagash moved his black pyramid there.
Okay.
There is so much incorrect there.
Oh, okay. First of all, the Necrons cannot go into the warp.
Physically incapable.
No. They can physically go into it. But the only way they can get in is through the webway.
Okay, well, yeah, but that's because the webway turns the whole physical thing into spirit thing.
I know. I'm just saying. The only way they can get in is through the webway. I guess technically nothing would stop them from taking a like parking behind an Imperial ship and going into the warp, but they don't want to do that for a million good reasons.
Yeah, and also, like, wouldn't all of the Necron defenses against the warp stop working if they did that?
Short answer, I don't know. Because the Necron warp defenses essentially work by making an area of warp not allowed. So
Would they even
I think
be
they'd have to turn the defenses off to even go in.
Yeah, would they even be able to go into the webway?
Webway, yes, because it has a physical component.
Well, you know, I know, but would would their presence not turn off the webway? Wasn't that a problem? Wasn't that like problem in one of the books?
No, their stuff can keep webway gates from opening, but they don't do anything to the webway itself.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though. Is that like a passive thing they do to keep the webway from opening, or is that like an active? We press this button and the Eldar get fucked thing.
It's an, how do I say this? It's an active passive system. They push the button,
right,
and then it's a no warp zone.
Right, but that's what I'm saying though, right? Where it's like what I'm saying between active and passive is it their technology just by how it works creating the no warp zone, or is it they actively have an anti-webway device?
They actively have an anti-warp device.
Okay.
Not just anti-webway, anti-warp.
Right.
So if they put that right outside a webway gate that's closed, the webway gate can't open.
Right, but like even Necron soldiers left alone wouldn't be able to get possessed by demons.
Short answer, we don't know. It doesn't really happen very often. The short answer is we just don't know, because technically, just barely, Necron soldiers have souls. It's a case of like the Tau, where 99 times out of 100, they just get ignored.
Well, wasn't the whole thing that the Satan did that because, I mean, yes, obviously to, puppet them by, munching on their souls and shit. But wasn't the whole thing behind all of that like, oh, we got to replace ourselves with necrodermis to protect ourselves from the warp and the Eldar fucking croaks?
They had they essentially had super cancer because they lived in a dying star system.
Right, yeah, dying star system, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So they lived in a dying star system and they had super cancer, and the Necron, the Catan were the masters of the, like, unquestioned masters of the physical realm. Technically speaking, they weren't gods, but you know, they can do things like open alternate dimensions and split shards of themselves off to occupy other positions in the physical reality and still keep in contact through quantum entanglement. So yes, they're God.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like it's Tanya's definition of God as a sufficiently powerful being as might as
Yes.
well be.
Yes. Sufficiently powerful to the point that even if the Chaos Gods tried to 1v1 them, it would go poorly for the Chaos Gods. Very real chance of them losing.
Yeah, wasn't that the whole thing with the Void Dragon and the Emperor? Like, there was like the whole
People
shebang.
think there's a shard of the Void Dragon underneath Mars, and that that's what the a select group of the Cog Boys are worshipping. But nobody's quite sure on that part.
Right. Anyway, the whole idea in general is pretty stupid. You basically have to overhaul both lores, all three lores, because you're including fantasy in here.
Yeah, I would say that's the problem. They are erroneously mixing fantasy in, despite them being, you know, similar names, nothing to do with. They have nothing to do with any of them.
Honestly, like, the sad
Literally
part is you could mix Bleach and the Soul Society, at least. You could mix the Soul Society and the Jade Empire of Warhammer Fantasy.
Oh yeah.
Where
Pretty easy.
Soul Society is literally just the afterlife of the Jade Empire, where they live underneath the soul of the Jade Emperor, and they have to fight off chaos demons. It works. Again, it's one of those things where it's like, it's stupid, but it works. But it's like, why would you? None of the Soul Society characters are what I would deem interesting.
Like, the only thing that would make it interesting is, hey, we're going to stop the end times, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm always down for preventing Games Workshop's biggest stupidity, but
Yeah.
like, here's the problem. Either, right, first of all, you're overhauling an absurd amount of lore to fit in the fact that there's these, like, soul guardians, because that makes, like, everything that happens super different, including the fact that, like, either you have to make it so that Soul Society is just the Jade Empire, or you have to combine the Empire and the Jade Empire, because why would anyone follow, right? It's the case of atheism in Pathfinder isn't, I don't believe in the gods. I don't believe the gods want to help me, right? Why would I follow Sigmar when I've never seen him? I've never seen him do anything, but those guys over there have their own demons that fight the demons and keep them away from me and my soul. And I can see them.
Yeah. This one's dumb too. A hollow wakes up in the grim darkness of the 41st millennium. Okay, so he instantly gets gibbed?
He is promptly consumed by demons.
Crusade the hell with this interlopers. This is story of what title says.
English is not his first language.
It had been 20 years ago when all Facuns abandoned Earth, their Earth that knew who so many worlds shared same name. Today, after so long, all the factions would fully unite their space hulks on Main One. What? The long-lost Quincy's. Wait, huh? After the heroic sacrifice of the dead emperor, whose name no one says now, lest they dare summon him from his eternal combat with 1,000 demon prince.
What?
Huh?
Not bother.
Their Snow White ship, yeah. yeah. They painted their whole fucking ship white. They live in a goddamn wreck drifting through space-time. And they had the time and resources to paint it white. Okay. Adorned.
No, Sneaky, they
Yeah.
use Super Quincy Soul Paint at the height of it so that it's always white.
What the fuck is this? This dude is trying so hard. What the fuck? Adorned with countless runes and the ever-present artificial blood being that reinforced their spirit particle collection, which in turn keeps the hollows and demons' massive silver cross that adorned all sides of the ship. What the fuck does that even mean? Hollows and demons' massive silver cross.
I think it's supposed to be repelling them, but I don't know, man.
An eternal reminder to there's these giant fucking Christian crosses just hanging off a Space Hulk.
Yeah, sure, whatever, man.
Okay.
Whatever, bro.
Oh god.
Not even gonna touch that.
Another ship was placed above theirs, just like theirs was placed above someone else's. What? Oh, huh? But this area belongs to them alone. What area? As the ship finally connected with Main One, they could feel the blood blood banes connecting Elder Wraithbone. They're dead now, free to roam in new areas. Wait, they're Eldar now? Wait.
What?
Huh?
Also, I'm sorry, you're telling me they've come across the derelict floating Quincy ship has come across a derelict craft world?
That they then hijacked and turned into a Space Hulk craft world. That all of their Space Hulks return to drop off souls.
There's a lot of problems with that.
There is, yeah.
Not the least of which that craft worlds don't, like, survive as abandoned thing. They're either full of Eldar or full of demons.
Yeah.
Usually Slanesh one.
Yeah.
There's really no in between. Like,
the day they left Earth was the day they took false bodies and fucked. Huh?
what? This is all still the same summary.
But,
This is the summary?
no, this is not a summary. This is the intro to the story.
Oh, God.
Besides them were their once hated enemies, the Hollows. They were one of several groups that did not have ship, for they didn't need ship. No, instead they worked as security inside of the Space Hulks that were found. There were so few Hollows left, barely more than a few billion. Grimjow, their king, was only smiling Long gone was Espada arrogance. It was he, honor guard, consisting of his harem, that came to see them.
Okay, author. How do I even break the problems with every stupid thing you're saying down? First of all, a few billion is not nothing. The Cadian population is going stronger than ever, like 10 years after Cadia died.
Yeah.
Because there were billions of Cadians, not
Let it be known that the
Cadia.
planet broke before Cadia did.
I think one of the best things I ever saw as the rejoinder to that, Sneaky,
Yeah.
it was a bunch of Morty and Iron Guard going, boy, I sure do love standing on my successfully defended home planet.
I mean, yes, true. However, the planet broke before the guard did.
Yes, a very true statement. All right, what's the next one? Let's just go through this. There's only 10 left. Let's just go through this, unless there's some that seem particularly idiotic right off the bat. Like,
Yeah, let's see what else we got here. We got Lost Kin. Eldar recover artifacts and scripts based on Lost Empire in hopes of piecing together their broken history and culture. And then they discover signal from ancient Eldar library on Shield World that leaves fleet of Uwuth Eldar to recover it. And then they find leave Craft World stunned and hopeful. Scripts of Lost Kin. The Shinigami, a 40k Halo Bleach crossover, where Bleach is the prequel to the Eldar.
oh boy,
I
guess Hitsugaya makes sense now, at least.
just what the fuck? A soulless reaper. The soul of a Culexi's assassin is in Soul Society.
No,
No.
they're soulless. Literally, that's their jam.
It's okay,
No.
don't worry.
Not only are the Calexis assassins soulless, they are so soulless that demons just die near them. And I don't mean get returned to the warp. I mean die.
They're like super blanks.
You can literally kill an Eldar Farseer by locking them in a room with a Calexis assassin. They don't have to do anything. Just leave them stuck within like 60 feet of each other, and the Eldar will just keel over dead as they start spontaneously bleeding.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, no, that also happens with Sisters of Silence when they cooperate with the Eldar. They have to give advance warning to the Eldar that the Sisters of Silence are going to show up, so that their psychers can all leave, so that they don't start spontaneously keeling the fuck over dead.
Yeah. Good stuff. The Lost Daughter with Golden Wings. That's right. It's a story featuring the Emperor and Orihime.
Oh,
We all know about the sons of the Emperor, but what about the daughter of the Emperor? Orihime, Inoue, whose kind heart is a beacon of light in the galaxy, and she was thought to be lost during the Horus Heresy. No. No, that's
No.
so fucking dumb. So cringe. A Space Marine Blood Angel kills the demon that cursed their chapter, and in response, he is dragged into a realm of Soul Society. And then he fucks Haribel. He might even get a harem.
You
What?
know, author, you had me right up until...
He fucks Haribel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tatsuki Ariwasa, the hero of the Imperium. Tatsuki never had a lot of luck, but this was ridiculous. Falling into another dimension is overrated. Not that the Chaos know about anything about ratings, they are incompetent morons. Author's note, yeah, I'm totally doing this.
You know what? You can't be any stupider than some of the stuff I've already read today.
Yep, well, we get worse. The harrowing. Across the universe, numerous anime play out, ignorant of the greater chaos chessboard. Korn decides he needs to sort this out the only way he knows how. He sends his personal executioners to kill them all. Mass anime crossover.
That sounds fucking dumb.
No, shut up. Go to hell. Your ideas are stupid. You're stupid.
Soul Society gets invaded. When Rukia comes home with Figmas for the captains, Captain Hitsugaya feels something is off about them. Now, facing the threat of a chaos invasion, the creation of a Necron monolith, what can the 13th Cork Guard do to destroy chaos and the Necrons? Nothing. Die.
I mean, I guess it depends.
Well, see, the thing is, though, is that demons warp the spiritual realm by just being there. And there's more demons than hollows. And
Yes.
we have clear evidence that despite being purely spiritual beings, Shinigami get tired.
Yes.
Which means that, quite literally, an endless wave of demons could just win by attrition.
That's what it sounds like.
However, demons are capable of destroying demons.
Yes.
So in theory, right, Ichigo busts out a Getsuga Tensho and wipes, 10,000 demons off the map or whatever.
Right, but
They're
that
not
there's
coming
like
back.
trillions,
Part of the
though.
unending tide of demons is, aha, the guardsman killed him. Cool, he'll be back in 10 minutes, popping out of the giant glowing warp gash in the sky.
You're not wrong. However, that would only work on probably the lower ranks. I'm pretty sure like a demon prince would like laugh at it.
I mean, that might require a more personal stabbing.
Yeah, I was about to say Ichigo could definitely kill them somehow, but yeah, it probably had to be
No.
on
Look, I want to be clear. Pretty much any of the captains or the lieutenants could absolutely would possess sufficient power to end a demon prince permanently.
Sure, but again, the other problem comes in is that demons warp spiritual stuff by just being there, and well, they eat, sleep, and breathe spiritual stuff. And
Shinigami or spiritual stuff.
well, as I'm saying, also the Shinigami are also effectively very emotional by nature. because I believe at some point they literally said that the reason why Ichigo was able to develop so fast was because he was still human, which meant he felt emotions even stronger than a Shinigami would, which means his powers were able to respond to him even better than a Shinigami would be able to, which is why he develops faster. Which means that Shinigami powers are based on emotion to a certain level, where you actually have to want to get better to get better. Which means that characters like Kenpachi would fall to corn. And
Absolutely.
Matsuki, the scientist dude, would fall to like Zinch easily, or fucking even Nurgle.
He might be egotistical enough to not. A very real defense. It sounds ridiculous.
No, I know.
But-
Very real defense is having so much of an ego that you don't think you need chaos to help.
Right, literal contempt.
Yeah.
That's how I can't think. That's how Fabius Bile
Yes.
was able to, despite the fact that he was in the warp just as long as every other Chaos Marine, he had functionally no mutation. He had like some kind of horrifying cell disease, but that wasn't warp born. That was just a horrifying cell disease that he was cursed with.
Yeah, wasn't that why they fell to Nurgle in the first place?
No, they fell to Slanesh. The Emperor's Children fell to Slanesh.
Right.
You're thinking of the Thousand.
Yeah, I'm
You're
thinking
thinking
of
of the Thousand Sons, and
Yeah.
they fell to Zinch because they were plagued with, and I'm not kidding, it's called the Flesh Change.
Which is why they became the Rubric Marines, right?
Yeah, the Magnus had fucked off into the warp, so the chapter master essentially of the Thousand Sons was like, all right, well, our dad's a deadbeat and an asshole and gone, so I'll fix this myself. And technically the rubric of Ahriman did save them. Some of them. Just killed a lot more of them.
Right.
But yeah, Fabius Bile was from the Emperor's Children, and yeah, he was just so completely, massively up his own ass about how awesome he was that he just told the Chaos Gods, I don't need you. It also specifically helps that he's one of the original Marines, and his faith is in science, not the Emperor,
Right.
not demons. So he just looks at the Chaos Gods and just goes, "You're not real. You are just a pile of warp. You're just a really big warp manifestation. You are no more real or sentient than any other demon."
Which, technically speaking, he isn't wrong about.
No, he's not wrong. Which they hate. They really, really, really hate. And they worked super hard to make him swear allegiance to them, and no one's entirely sure if he did. He might have, he might not have. That's
Right.
got to be answered in the lore.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see what else we got here. We got Soul Society gets invaded. Oh, we already did that one. Army of Death, fresh from founding and ready to prove themselves. The Soul Society 421st makes war with a world suspected of rebellion, but find heresy has many faces. Renji times Rukia. No flames, there will be sex.
You just know when an author says, please don't flame, it's going to be bad.
It's a completed story at 87k words and 26 chapters. Written 13 years ago.
The fact that you're just making them some kind of Imperial Guard regiment, It's the coffee shop problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't coffee shop stories, aren't they so interesting?
No.
Perish.
No.
Aren't they just so great and original?
No.
Don't you want to see your favorite characters run a coffee shop?
Never in my life. Italiano! Oh, those languages are funny. Let's see what we got here. We got Ruby crossover section. Why not, right? The reincarnated huntress. So I actually earlier today I taunted a sign saying that because of Rooster Teeth, they will never have a well done. Was it happy-go-lucky murder hobo tomboy wielding an extra large weapon?
Yes, this pains me.
Yeah.
As I said, Ruby is literally best girl of her series.
Yeah. Another little fun fact that's completely unrelated to Ruby is that they estimate. So they recently did some, averaging of testosterone and other such chemicals found in modern humanity, and they found and estimate that modern men have about 1/4 the average testosterone in their system as men from 2,000 years ago.
Well, yeah, because we're not getting into fights constantly.
And they should be thankful for it, because the men from 2,000 years ago... oh boy.
So quite literally, like
First of all,
Hmm?
they were a fuck of a lot stupider.
Yes.
Debatable.
No, it's really not. Like,
Roman concrete, Greek
despite-
fire,
yeah,
steam power
that's
engines.
a couple of them who were much smarter. But just like if you take athletic records from now, it'll kick the shit out of a Roman, despite his absurd testosterone level.
Not really, actually, because literally the marathon runner, while he did die, he did it in full armor.
No, he was a messenger, Sneaky.
Yeah, he did. Well, yes, he did it in light armor. He still did it in Roman light armor. Or the Greek light armor, whatever. The marathon, that was Greek.
Yeah, it was Greek. From what I understood, he showed up in a robe and sandals.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which, I want to be clear, makes perfect sense. The man ran a marathon.
Both ways.
Yes.
Yeah. No, and just yeah. Anyway, reincarnated huntress. Akame didn't know why she was reborn as Akame, Branwen, twin sister. Akame.
Oh, there's a pipe bomb coming to your house.
Yeah.
Every time you react, you only give him power, you fool.
Exactly. I grow stronger with every reaction.
Ignore him like you ignore Nurgle's gifts.
She didn't know why she was reborn as Akame Branwen, twin sister of Yang Xiaolong, but she's happy to grow up with a caring family and escape from her bloody past life. But the future is unpredictable. Will Akame revert to her violent assassin persona, or will she strive to be a virtuous huntress?
This sounds really cursed.
Yeah, honestly, it sounds really boring. I mean, yes, Akame is skilled. Would some of that theoretically carry over? Yes.
Her biggest thing is that she had a sword that could kill you with a paper cut because
Yeah.
hyper poison.
Yeah.
If she can't do that here, then or it doesn't work on Grim, then she's fucking useless.
Yeah, I mean, so that was basically the kind of that was the thing. It's like she's just a really, I mean, she's a good swordsman. Like, she wasn't like a master, super amazing swordsman. She was just a good swordsman.
But you don't have to be a master when your sword kills with a touch.
Exactly, and if she obviously wouldn't have that here, being that. I really hope this isn't a fusion world.
Well, you see, she ate the sword and it is now part of her soul. Actually, that is how the series ends. So, yes, she absorbed the curse that was in the sword, and she herself now produces the curse, which if it's tied to her soul, which means it carries over with her.
Okay, so she becomes incapable of actually getting better. Unless she never uses her semblance.
Yeah, she had to never use it.
Yeah. So.
On the other hand, one hit insta-kill semblance, so...
Which probably wouldn't work against Grim, because Grim don't have a, functioning circulatory system.
I think it's
or flesh.
some soul-based poison or some bullshit. I don't exactly remember.
Well, see, that's the thing though, is if it's a soul-based poison, it still wouldn't work on Grim because Grim literally don't have souls.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember the lore on that particular weapon.
Well, what I'm saying though is it doesn't really matter what way it is. There's a lot of ways poisons can kill you near instantly, right? There's a lot of poisons in reality that are basically instant death if you get hit by them. We don't even have to talk fantasy here. Like, just straight up, there's some animals out there that just have fuck you poisons. And admittedly, a lot of them are neurotoxins. And those kill you by being circulated by your bloodstream, which Grim don't have. What if it's a curse of death? Well, Grim aren't alive, so they wouldn't be able to die. Okay, what if it's a soul curse? Grim don't have souls, so they can't be affected by a soul curse. Okay, so what if it's just a really potent acid that got carried by the bloodstream? I was like, well, maybe the limb would start to degrade a little bit, but again, they aren't organic. They're not made of flesh. You can't smell them. They don't have a scent. They don't need to eat. They're not living creatures. So even if it is an acid and it melts a little bit of their arm, that doesn't actually damage their arm any more than superficially.
I think I'm looking now, but I think it may be some kind of fate level conceptual poison bullshit. We'll see.
Maybe. I mean, that's the problem though. It's unless it's some sort of, fate tier bullshit of
But here's the thing, even if it's a fate tier level of bullshit,
yeah.
Certain things simply can't be affected by certain concepts.
Can Shiki cut rocks? Does he see the breaking points on rocks and shit?
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, technically speaking.
No, but Sneaky, that has to do with Japanese mythology, wherein everything has a soul.
Yeah, so it can all break. Yeah.
Right, that's the thing. It doesn't matter how big or how small. Technically, everything has a soul because technically everything is part of. I don't know if it's
the planet,
its own little individual one or
Yeah.
part of the bigger one.
It's
But
part
they're
of
all...
the spirit world.
Hang on, here we go. This ability only worked on living organic beings that have a heart, rendering it ineffective against armor and biological type tegu, as well as machines and corpse dolls, because it works by stopping the heart.
Okay, yeah. So
nothing.
Literally wouldn't work on Grim at all.
Yeah, well, do Grim have hearts?
No.
Do they even have
no.
organs?
No, they're just composed of shadow goo.
They're literally shadow goo.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, then she couldn't use it on them. She could use Use it on winners for sure.
Yeah. But, I recently saw some headcanon about Pact, Wildbow's other work. Wildbow's other
Actually, you
work.
know what? I think that would be a pretty funny solution to Cinder.
Poke.
Just gets nicked with the heart-stopping poison. Stink. Okay, you nicked me. Now what?
Dead. Yeah.
Well, no, hang on.
Main
It
character
also
girl
says
transition.
that it can only kill if a being has 2 or more souls. It can only kill 1 soul at a time, and technically, being at least part maiden at the time, Cinder could possibly get a free pass from that, or
No.
or it could kill
Maidens do
Cinder
not
and
have
get
2
the
souls.
maiden.
Maidens do not have 2 souls.
Technically, they do.
No, they don't. No, the power can be split
Yeah.
between multiple souls.
Yeah.
You might could leave the maiden powers in the body, but Cinder's soul gets ejected.
Well, I would
No.
say, yeah.
No, when they die, when body death occurs, the soul power moves on.
Yeah.
Didn't Shiki cut tables and shit? Yeah, we already covered that. The Japanese mythology covers that everything has a soul, including tables, trees, fucking chairs, everything.
Shiki's power had nothing to do with souls. It was just he sees
Atin's point was that the reason why the underlying, so there's the fate reason why Shiki can cut tables and shit and see the breaking points. The reason how the author might have invented that power is because of the Japanese belief that everything has a soul and therefore has a death.
Okay, I gotcha.
Because conceptually, right? Again, it's about concepts.
Yeah.
A rock, a table, a house, a stadium, a road, all of those things are capable of suffering a conceptual death, right? When the table is completely and utterly destroyed, there is no table.
Not even that. It's just when the table is cut in half, people no longer consider it a table anymore.
That too, right? There are multiple different ways that you can interpret Shiki's powers as functioning on objects.
Yeah.
Right?
In Forged Destiny, the overall theme was that your class doesn't define you, it's how you push yourself. Despite that, Raven, who is like 100 and level 25, loses to Salem, who is level 1, because Salem had a superior class. What did Core mean by this? Well, you see... Well, you see, much like how Wildbow writes Worm with a Canadian perspective, Core wrote Forged Destinies with a British perspective on how certain strata of society operate.
Sure, it's not an Indian perspective.
I plead the fifth.
Fair. I'll be right back.
Let's see what else we got here. We got Black Rose, a Ruby Black Clover story, because sure, why not? Honestly, I'm gonna be real here. Black Clover was trash.
Oh, Black Clover's so bad.
I tried to like it
because it looked like trash.
Yeah, I tried to like Black Clover. I couldn't get past the first episode. I thought the first episode was incredibly stupid. It was a really dumb premise. Oh yeah, the apprentice, to show up his teacher, is going to break into his house and steal all of his shit without knowing what any of it does. Let's be clear here. So it's not like the apprentice was like, I'll show the teacher how much I know. I'm going to take all of the stuff I've been studying with, and I'm going to use it in combat to prove to him that I can do it. No, that's not what happened here. Mr. fucking retard here is like, my teacher said I don't know them nothing. So I'm gonna steal all this shit here, and I'm gonna use it, and not have any idea what any of it does. Oh my god, I blew up the town.
Oops.
Oh, but I defeated the bad guy at the end, which means I was right. Yeah, no, fuck that shit. What the fuck did you just post? What? Do I low taxes? Why? Because code of housing is now what? Huh? We pay teachers low in America because taxes are low in America?
What? Bruh, Illinois would like to enter the chat.
Taxes must go up, and they must go up for the rich because housing is now expensive for middle class, and they don't have the wealth to be taxes anymore.
I mean, that's
and
true.
Women rape students because they're underpaid.
Ah. Ha ha ha. Okay.
What is this absolutely schizophrenic response? Reddit is
Reddit.
Reddit's something else.
Yes.
Reddit is something else. Man, people are really going all out with that fucking Pixar shit, aren't they? Wow. Anyway, so Black Clover's mid. Anything dealing with it's probably also going to be extremely garbage. After the elf incident, Clover Kingdom began to rebuild. Unfortunately, Magic Knight and remaining elves are caught off guard when Team Ruby appears in front of them. Can the Magic Knights help these people return home, or will they be stuck in the Black Clover world forever? Well, it would be a pretty lame story if they were stuck in the Black Clover world forever. So I'm going to take a wild fucking piss at it and say that they go home. All right, well, I guess we don't need to read the story then, fellas. I apparently I completed the story, because the whole story is about if they go home or not, and they go home, obviously.
Yay!
So I can't. Easiest story I have ever read. Damn. Battle of Two Worlds, a Ruby Pokemon story. John Ark, student of Ninja Academy, suddenly finds himself in a world with a shattered moon because he met Mew. Now John and his team of Pokemon must adapt to this new world filled with creatures of darkness, making friends and enemies along the way. Okay, so I hate it already. But Grim can be captured in Pokeballs. Discuss.
I mean, would the Pokeball even register them as something to capture?
That's a good question.
Well, considering they can capture a ball of gas.
I'll do one better. They can capture something like Porygon. A digital Pokemon.
Well, yeah, but you could technically say Porygon just uploads himself to the Pokeballs database. So that's not a great example. But like, you know, Ghastly, it's a literal ball of spiritual gas. You know, it's like, I mean, there's a Pokemon made out of literal shadow as well, so I think Grim would be able to be captured. And it's not like these things fucking share DNA, you know? I mean, unless it's like, oh, well, the Pokeball detects Pokey energy, and so that's why it can capture Pokemon. Which, I mean, that doesn't make entirely much sense either. I mean, because the whole fucking Acorn thing. So I don't know. I think Grim could be captured. I think it'd be funny enough. Black Clover felt like a bootleg fairy tale, except it didn't have the simple, fun, over-the-top shonen shenanigans in it. It didn't? Max, you watched Black Clover, right?
No.
Oh.
Max has
Most I
self
know,
respect.
the most I know about Black Clover is the main character has anti-magic, and people are some of the people are scared shitless for good reason. Black Clover was absolutely a bootleg fairy tale.
Yeah, I will agree on that one, yeah.
You don't have to get that far. It's obvious in the first like 10 chapters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, honestly, that's what I get from a lot of people, is that they're like, yeah, I read the opening, it felt like bootleg fairy tale, or it felt like fairy tale, and then I stopped reading it. Because I don't like fairy tale. And I was like, that's fair? Yeah.
Can't argue with that.
If it's like a worse fairy tale, like if it's all the worst parts of fairy tale without the parts of fairy tale that made it even remotely tolerable. Anyway. The Betrayed Comes Home V2. This is the V2 version of the DC version of my story. Oh my god. This author has written 261 stories. Oh my god, they've written a Medaka Box story. Oh my god. I have to read this author's note out loud.
Oh no.
Max, you'll like this.
Will I?
Oh, you'll love it, yeah. Ranma Satome is my favorite character. As you can tell by my screen name, Ariso Tome. Sorry, but I need to rant. There are things I don't like about anime and other anime writers, but I won't point fingers here. Item number 1. Kishimoto, I can't be fucked to know the rest of his name. I hope he gets hit by a train.
That's kind of extreme, don't you think?
Just, okay, I don't want to point fingers here, but I hope Kishimoto gets hit by a bullet train. All right.
Vocal man dislikes Kishimoto.
We're
Nude
starting
metal
a little bit extreme, but okay. I hope he gets hit by a train while true anime fans put the rabid raccoons down his pants. If you're gonna name your anime or manga after one character, don't have his arch rival be the main hero. It's stupid and won't get you fans. Sasuke is the main hero of Naruto? What? I, I what the fuck did I just read?
Cancer for the eyes.
Okay. All right. Item number 2. Yaoi fangirls. What is wrong with these psychos? Alright, man raises a couple good points. The only way I'll ever enjoy a Naruto times Sasuke fanfic is if Sasuke is a woman getting fucked. All you yaoi fangirls out there can hate me all you want, but I will never write a yaoi fic for you. This guy has an ego on him, goddamn.
I'm pretty sure that's just standard at this point on this show. Considering
Yeah.
the amount of authors who have gotten back to you on your reviews, regardless of how rude or polite you were in them.
Yeah, your grammar terrible in this story. Really? Because I got more fucking punctuation in it than your fucking review. Number 3. People who don't have balls to send their email in the review. So guest reviewers, I guess. A friend of mine was here one time and was writing stories, but the reviewers were all buttheads. If I swear, I'll get thrown out of fanfiction.net because this is a Christian website. Who wouldn't leave their emails, so he couldn't defend himself from their attacks, so he gave up.
I guess it's time for you to go leave a very relevant message, Sneaky.
Yeah, apparently. Apparently we have to read some of this guy's stories now.
Oh boy.
To anyone that hates Naruto and Hinata coupling, they are the perfect couple of Naruto. The only way the Naruto-Hinata coupling can be better is if she is the head wife of the harem. Holy shit, it's the meme. What the fuck is that? I mean, okay. Item number 5, edited 2008. Stories where there is proof of Naruto's heritage, like a bloodline limit, paternity test, weapons only his clan can use. When the Hokage or Sarutobi himself wants to tell the village council or both, and Naruto doesn't want him to do that even though it would make his life better. Come on. If it was me, I would have told literally everyone the Yodime was my dad. And that's precisely why no one ever told Naruto the Yodime was his dad. Because this dude apparently forgot that the entire world's military are assassins. Item number 6, edited 2009. Okay, I was told Naruto screaming at the top of his lungs that his dad was Minato would not be smart.
Dude, the entirety of the Rock Village would have mobilized to ensure that that man's bloodline did not continue.
Everyone disliked that. I understand, but he has enemies inside of the village and outside of the village, and I'd rather have all of the other villages trying to kill him than his own village trying to kill him. Because drunk, out-of-shape villagers constantly form mobs to beat the shit out of Naruto for being a demon.
Nope, they don't.
A, they don't. B, they couldn't. Naruto is a very half-baked ninja. Still enough of a ninja to get away.
He's enough of a ninja to consistently give Chunin and Jonin's trouble with trying to find him, save for a handful and Yonbu.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out that's a great way to drive him right into the hands of Danzo. Because Danzo's like, see, Saratobi, I told you, I need to take care of him now. Exactly how that would go down.
Oh, yeah. And then you have Naruto, the little murder. Then you have Naruto, who believes in the power of murder, not the power of talk no jutsu.
Do you know how many things would have gotten done if he didn't do the talk no jutsu at points?
Oh, good God, yes.
You know,
Chief among them would be we didn't have to deal with Sasuke's whiny ass.
yeah, there's that.
Sasuke, you need to come back to the village or I have to kill you. No. Okay.
We also
I choose
we
gun.
also would not have ended up with the meme of it's not too late, Obito, after he has committed several hundred war crimes over the course of 20 or so years.
It is
You
not
can
too
be
late,
better,
Obito.
Obito! Commits more war crimes. I believe in you! Kills a
Continues
village.
to commit war crimes.
I'm sorry, I was committing my Geneva checklist. What were you saying?
Obito, it's getting kind of hard to believe in you. Guess I still got some work to do then, kiddo.
Also, if Sasuke had the Kyubibi in him, they'd shape history into his image. That's what ticks me off about the Sasuke fans out there. I'm right. If not, fight me in private messages.
Sasuke fans are literally just Vegeta fans, but edgier.
Item number 7.
Fight me, by the way.
Edited 2010. I can't stand it when stories. What?
I'm sorry, Nose is right, but what's funny is that Sasuke fans actually have a leg to stand on because he didn't commit several planets worth of war crimes.
Truth.
That's true.
I mean, look.
Sasuke only committed a few war crimes.
Yes.
Hey, look, Vegeta lost to
I-
the Goku once and he
I don't-
started being
no,
good, okay?
the
Okay,
only-
I say good, but it's quote
Hang on,
unquote
I think
good.
it's worth pointing out the only actual war crime that Sasuke committed that we have on record is he broke into the Kage Summit.
You
and
know,
failed.
technically speaking, Vegeta never committed any war crimes because he was both not at war and no one else outside of Earth signed the Geneva Convention.
That's true. Oh,
There's
well, I mean,
probably-
technically,
no, there was
Vegeta... No,
probably
hold on a
some
minute. Vegeta did
intergalactic
commit
standard.
several war crimes.
But he
On
wasn't
Earth.
at war. They're just crimes.
That
Yes.
does not.
He's probably still broke several intergalactic laws.
Well,
no,
if
actually,
he
no,
Well,
we know
did-
he did.
It's
We
possible
know he
to
did because
commit a
Jocko
war
exists.
crime.
It's like,
Oh,
wait, hang
man.
on a second. You're not the same Prince Vegeta that. You know what? I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Don't answer that question.
You know what? You know what? That is above my power ranking. Don't answer that question, and I don't have to do anything stupid.
You know, I feel like that would actually make for a mildly amusing story beat at some point, where the villain who's from outer space, or from spiritual realm, or just generally not the place where the story is normally taking place in. The villain from like the first arc gets beat by the hero, joins up with the hero's team. The reinforcements from that realm or related realm come over at some point to help the hero defeat like the second or third villain, and then at some point the villain from the first arc does like some sort of signature move or something that just obviously flags him as like this guy, and the reinforcements are like, please tell me you aren't Genocider 9000, the smasher of babies, because that would make things
Sneaky,
incredibly
the
awkward.
answer to what you're talking about is Invincible.
Well, no,
Comic.
wasn't it?
Invincible.
Well, yeah, but wasn't Omni-Man like evil from the start?
No,
No,
he doesn't.
I mean,
Okay,
he was never
minor
not
spoilers,
evil.
Omni-Man does have a redemption. It's actually a really, really nice.
Okay,
touching...
okay, so he does have a redemption arc in the end.
I mean,
okay,
the other
I would just say,
Viltrumites plot.
not just Omni-Man. There comes a point when.
Okay, can we preface this with spoilers because some people haven't read the comic?
Yeah, spoilers.
And
if
also,
if you
there is
care
a show.
about, I was gonna say spoilers. If you care,
I really don't care. No, go ahead.
I know, but just for anyone else,
Season
right.
1 and also the coming seasons of Invincible.
Yeah. So the TLDR is at the end of season 1,
Mm-hmm.
Omni-Man flies off after having beat the shit out of Mark, because he looks down and he's like, "What the fuck is wrong with me?" And he's not necessarily thinking it at that point, but to another extent, my culture, right? What the hell is wrong with me that I would, under the orders of my government, beat my own son to within an inch of his life?
Right.
And it's really, he flies off to an alien planet where they have no idea, right? It's a bunch of it's a bunch
Right.
of insects. They have not achieved space flight.
Right.
The Viltrumites haven't looked at them. They have no idea about any of that.
Right.
So he's just a super long-lived weird alien to them. Just like he fell in love with Mark's mother, he falls in love with one of the alien bug people and has some kind of...
For a guy who's apparently racist, he's got a lot of...
I want to be clear. The Viltrumites are very specifically racist in that we're better than everyone. You want to see the proof? Watch me genocide a planet alone.
Right, but like I was saying, it's like he's for a guy who's very racist. He seems to fuck a lot of inferior races.
But that's what I'm saying. Part of why the Viltrumites get sent out is to prepare planets for conquest, and certain proclivities are tolerated when you do that.
Okay, fair, I suppose.
Because they're racist, but they're not stupid. I'm trying to think how to say it, right? They're not stupid. One of the best ways to blend into a planet is
To
have a
marry,
wife and kids,
yeah.
or a husband, or
Yeah.
whatever. Anyway,
Right.
so the point is, he has another child. He goes through a whole redemption arc. Mark does eventually find him again. He reconciles with his dad, and he and his father, along with the help of a couple of other Viltrumites who got sent to Earth after Mark's dad left. Right? They sent, it was 4 or 5 other Viltrumites.
Right.
And they were like, "Okay, Mark, you're on Viltrumite probation." And Mark's like, "What the shit fuck are you talking about?" They're like, "It was your dad's job to prepare this planet for conquest, ideally in a fashion where we'll show up, say, we're the Viltrumite Empire, you're part of the Viltrumite Empire," and they go, "Aces, we've been waiting for this."
Right.
And they go, "Your dad fucked around a lot, as evidenced by you being here, so you have a year. We're here as your probation committee. Do whatever you want. Make sure the planet joins in a year, or we'll kill you and your friends."
Right.
And or was it 4 years? Was it 5 years? It was a short length of time, but not like, oh God, what am I gonna do? And as they blend in, they get families. Right? It sounds silly, but they find love.
Right.
One of them has a kid.
Right.
And they go, you know, maybe genociding people that say no isn't the answer.
Right.
So yeah, there are multiple scenes where different people go, wait. I'm supposed to work with X person, the insert list of war crimes, and everybody's like, no, that's not that person. Their name is Stacy.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I still think I'll try and fit it into the Undying Scarab story now.
Absolutely. It's just great because it happens multiple times. Because it turns out the Viltrumites, they didn't. It's not even the Geneva checklist to them. It's the Geneva speed run.
They held the yearly genocidal speedrun.
Yes.
Planets done quick.
Yes.
Planet's done quick.
Yes.
Shut the fuck up.
No, sneaky. There's planets done quick, but then people started getting mad because they wanted to include dimensions, and a bunch of purists were like, no, you can't include dimensions, it's planets only. So there's a separate event for planets and dimensions done quick for when you have to massacre another dimension, like Omni-Man did.
Of course.
Backwards long jumps into an entire universe.
Backwards long jumps through a dimension. Wait, hold on, you can't do that. This is a no dimension jumping. This is a no dimension jumping category. You can't do that.
You gonna stop me?
You're supposed to keep on the XYZ coordinates.
You were assigned a set of XYZ coordinates and you have departed from them. I did not. Everyone knows. I stayed in the same XYZ coordinates, didn't move from them.
But first, we have to talk about parallel universe.
Just because I ejected Y.
I didn't leave the Y coordinates. I temporarily stopped being subject to them.
Anyway, item number 7, edited 2010. This dude really has got like a fucking book of grudges. I just realized. This dude straight up is getting, like, this is not even like a list he decided to make one day. This is a list he made and then has come back to add more grudges to as time has passed.
Are we from another hold? It's a grand day.
It's like,
by the way,
Grudge
I left something
6.
for you in Weeb Garbage. I think you'll
saw that.
appreciate it.
Grudge
I did
6.
appreciate
I
it.
hate
Thank
this thing. Grudge 7. People tell me I can't hate the thing as much as I want to hate it. But I hate them too.
Grudge number 8. People are complaining about my list of grudges. They're on the grudge list.
I'm adding them to the grudge list. Grudge 9.
Listen, I want to be clear. The Book of Grudges is such a stupid concept.
It's great. I love it.
I love it. Like,
To get dwarves really angry, we read from the Book of Grudges out loud in the Great Hall. Remember that time the elves said, "Fuck you, stunties"? Yeah, let's murder them.
remember the time the goblin shit on our mom's picture? Yeah! You remember the time those humans didn't pay me 2 silver? Yeah!
Fucking
and then
yeah!
they catch a single rat and then there's a beating the shit out of them. They read every single passage in the Book of Grudges.
It's the fucking Bible! Grudge 12:16! And there he lay! A rat!
I'm sorry, Sneaky. Now I'm just imagining Weasel Stomping Day, but Skaven Stomping Day.
Yeah, well, absolutely, they would 100% have Skaven Stomping Day.
I know they'd have it, I'm just saying. That's just come into my head now.
I can't get the overlap of the Book of Grudges and the fucking Bible out of my head now.
Explain.
Book of Grudges 12, Passage 6.
Ah. Yes, I see what you mean.
They're just fucking shouting different passages at the fucking Skaven as they're killing them. Like
I
they're
mean-
priests trying to banish demons.
They're attempting to summon the great horned rat so they can stick an axe in its fucking skull.
It's number 483, subsection 2.
Me fucking gyrocopter!
In this day in Dawi history,
You pissed in my gyrocopter's gas tank.
You put an extra large cup in the small cup holder! It got it everywhere!
You replaced my bug mints with human beer.
okay, that's actually pretty grudge-worthy.
That is grudge-worthy.
I'm not saying it's not grudge-worthy. I'm just saying it's in the book.
I mean, to be fair,
God.
the entirety of
also-
Stirland is in the book
Yeah.
for boiled beer. That's
Yeah.
a crime against beer.
Also, don't forget one of my favorite entries into the Book of Grudges.
Mm.
The time when there was a door that would only open for dwarves, so the Skaven skinned dwarves and wore dwarf coats to open the door.
Did it work?
Yes.
Well, I'm impressed.
Also, the Skaven that wore the dwarf capes, the dwarf costumes, stored a bunch of warpstone to convince and started to think that they were dwarves and started to fight the Skaven because shit, they're Skaven.
Oh, shit. Is that, Clan Eric?
Yeah, it was something that Gotrek and Felix stopped.
Yeah, it was Clan Eric or some shit. Yeah, they fucking got into the deep, dwarven, iron hold.
Yeah.
And they're described as oddly dwarf-like. It's a whole bunch of fucking shit. I was like, God fucking damn it. We got a bunch of dwarf Skaven.
Squorven?
Dwaven?
Squaven? Dwarfin?
Sowery?
Hybrids?
Yeah.
Now, Sneaky, here's the real question.
Yeah.
If a Skaven spent enough time wearing the dwarf coat
Right.
and started to become dwarf-like,
Right.
could you make a dwarf Skaven hybrid child?
No.
No.
Let me rephrase that. Could Clan shit, what are the ones that
Mulder?
make mad
Mulder.
ogres? Could Clan Mulder make it happen?
No.
No, I think mostly because of the warpstone involved. Would kind of
Dwarves
just
are very much resistant to all forms of magic,
yeah.
as long as they worship the ancestors.
No, please note, resistant does not mean immune.
Right,
They're
but
pretty immune. Fucking
right, but the resistance isn't so much of a hard limit of like, oh, all you have to do is break past this limit and then you can do whatever you want to them. It would be more like you're breaking past this limit because their arm is turning into 15 tentacles with 8 rat heads on each end.
it's no longer a dwarf at that point.
Yeah, it's not.
Mhm.
It's not like, oh, because you broke past the magic resistance, now you can merge a dwarf and a Skaven together. It's like you broke past the magic resistance, and the dwarf turned into an abomination.
Which is why technically Chaos Dwarves are not dwarves. They're technically a subsection of a species.
Yeah,
It's a little odd.
Yeah, didn't they literally get exiled and then they forsake the gods?
Oh no, they literally just were stuck in their holds because of the fucking chaos war going on outside.
Right.
And then they, for some reason, it's super fucking stupid, but it's also good because it's like, oh, they lost their way, and it's very like different culture. It's stupid, but it's not stupid. It's basically
Well, no,
all of
here's the thing.
Warhammer.
It's a perfectly reasonable chain of events where
No,
they
no.
were
To be fair though, Chaos Dwarves, despite the immense amount of chaos corruption going on, the biggest mutation they have is particularly orc-like teeth.
That and also the fact that they can use magic and then turn to stone.
Yeah.
Right, but like again, the whole reason that they even turned to chaos was because they were really good dwarfs for a really long time, and then
And
what the hell was it?
The ancestors never came because they were literally blocked off from the rest of the.
And it's not even that they turned to chaos.
Because the polar vortex destabilized.
Yeah, and it's not even that they turned to chaos. They literally started worshipping some sort of fucking forge demon, and then they take chaos's offers and literally like the Kadai are hilarious in terms of lore because it's like, yeah, sure, Nurgle, we would love some demons. We're totally going to worship you. They get the demons, JK, lol, and then they fucking mash the Nurgle demons into these iron bodies and turn them into Kadai slaves. It's like, that's kind of fucking hardcore.
By the power of Hashut.
It's hilarious. And the fact that Hashut used to be just kind of a nothing, but the Chaos Dwarves were like, listen, you're fuck nothing, but we can work with you.
But you are a forge demon, so bless our forges. And we'll make you the 5th Chaos God.
And because it's a demon, and at the time it was a lesser demon, it was in fact bound by agreements that it made.
Yeah. Honestly, I kind of like fantasy more than 40k in terms of lore. Like, don't get me wrong, I really want a Total War 40k.
No, you don't.
I like guns. Yeah, I do.
All right, let me rephrase that. You want Dawn of War, but with Total War mechanics.
Yes.
Literally, go play Dark Crusade. That is the closest you are getting.
Yeah, I know, but I want Total War mechanics. I don't want just giant armies. I want Total War mechanics.
I understand your frustration, but I'm very sorry it is not occurring.
I mean, it might, considering that CA is trying to scrape together money now, and they've pretty much included every single race, and they already said Warhammer Fantasy was a trilogy, so they're probably gonna make 40k now.
They're probably just gonna make DLC and then release Age of Sigmar.
I don't think so. I don't think they will, no.
You don't think they'll do Age of Sigmar, the next fantasy thing?
Nope. See, the thing is that the reason why the Total Warhammer series is as well liked as it still is solely because of Immortal Empires. No one... Yeah, the Chaos Realm thing was cool. Yeah, the fucking collectathon so you can get the Eye of Terror thing was cool. But no one played Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 3 for as long as they did because they liked the new campaign. They played it for Immortal Empires. They played it so every single DLC from the past 3 games could be mashed all into one giant map and they can have total fucking war.
Yeah.
That's why people play Total Warhammer 3. If they come out with Age of Sigmar, that's obviously going to get rid of pretty much all the DLC. So unless Age of Sigmar comes out and says, hey guys, you know all the DLC, it's all still going to be valid, which they probably won't, no one is going to like it. Because the second CA tries to reintroduce all the races then, no, it's going to be the exact same thing as what happened with the Changeling DLC. People aren't going to buy it, and they're going to shit on them for it.
That's true.
So their only hope is to let Warhammer 3 keep being the cash cow it is, and then transfer over to 40k and try to get people to buy it. So even if 40k ends up being a flop and not an infinite series of them just continuously adding more factions, because holy shit, there's a lot of factions in 40k you can fucking make. Even if it doesn't work, people will buy the first game. And CA, more than anything else, wants profits. As you can see by them trying to release Pharaoh, and then realizing that Pharaoh was a massive disappointment to Troy, which was a massive disappointment to Attila, which, comparatively, was about on the same, length as Rome 2, which was a massive disappointment when it first released.
Yeah.
So honestly,
I'm not really
the
sure what
next
else to
Total
say to
War
that.
games coming out might be Shogun 3, Medieval 3, Rome 3, or 40k. Because those are the only fucking series they haven't ruined yet, and they've pretty much covered every era of history.
So they're going to take this chance to ruin one of those.
Probably.
Almost certainly.
It'll be 40k.
Probably. I mean, it's probably... I say it's most likely going to be 40k, simply on the premise that there's never been a good 40k game.
Not a good strategy game, certainly not.
Like, in retrospect, Space Marine was a good game. When Space Marine came out, did you hear anyone say Space Marine was a good game? No,
No.
you didn't. People are
You
going
hear it
back
now, yeah.
decades later going, oh, Space Marine was actually pretty good. But back when it came out, no one fucking said it was a good game. Back when it came out, no one liked Dawn of War 1. Back when it came out, no one liked Dawn of War 2. People still don't like Dawn of War 2. Some people are fucking fanatical about Dawn of War 2. Dawn of War 3 came out, no one likes Dawn of War 3. I liked Dawn of
You're
War
right.
3. But I am in a massive minority. And I mostly only liked Dawn of War 3 because I basically did Zergling tactics with the orcs and I thought it was funny. So, there's never been a good... Yeah, when it came out, people hated Metal Gear Solid 2. Truth. I was alive for that. When it came out, people hated Metal Gear Survive. People still hate Metal Gear Survive.
People still hate Metal Gear Survive. There's no winning with that argument.
That's because Metal Gear Survive is not the game we wanted.
I wasn't going for that. I was just pointing out that when it came out, no one liked it. Still, no one likes it. Honestly, the thing was with Metal Gear Survive, it wasn't a terrible game. It wasn't the game I wanted.
It was a terrible Metal Gear game.
Oh, it's terrible absolutely the worst fucking Metal Gear game. Max, what was it that I said to you when that game fucking came out? It was something along the lines of, like, if this wasn't a Metal Gear game, it would have been good.
Which game?
Metal Gear Survive, the one with the zombies.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Like, it was a good game, just shouldn't have been tied to Metal Gear.
Yeah, like, I was like, the mechanics weren't bad. The story, I mean, it was mid at very bad. Like, we're talking, like, a solid 4 at best, maybe 5 at peak. But it wasn't bad. But the fact that it was a Metal Gear game, and that we got this game instead of something made by Kojima, like the rest of Metal Gear 5, that's what pissed everyone off.
Oh, yeah.
Should Revengeance be tied to Metal Gear? I don't think Revengeance benefits from, or is a detriment to, the fact that it has Metal Gear attached to its name.
Yeah.
It stands on its own.
Yeah, basically. Like, the fact that it's Metal Gear basically just prepped everyone for it to get weird. Like, Revengeance had good enough gameplay that everyone kind of forgot it was a Metal Gear game. And then,
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
and then like one of the bosses would be like, Jack, it's about the memes. The memes will control the future, Jack. The next stage of warfare is memes. And then you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing a Metal Gear game.
I'm playing Kojima's stupid fucking.
I am playing an absolute fucking drug trip. Was he wrong?
They were prophetic.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. Was he wrong? No. Was it a drug trip 8 years ago to hear? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Aged yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. Was it a drug trip 8 years ago to hear a fucking video game have a war criminal tell another war criminal that the future of warfare is mimetic imagery? Yes. Was he wrong? No.
No, badly no.
It was a fucking video that I sent Max and Atin. The fucking PSYOP video.
Oh, that stupid fucking thing.
The official Army 4th PSYOP group comes out with this absolute meme of a video, which honestly, again, I thought this was like some... I didn't realize 4th PSYOP group was an official Army branch until the literal end of the video. Until that point, I thought it was either A, anti-government propaganda, which I agreed with, or B, some indie group making this, like, modern take on Ghost in the Machine, you know, Ghost in the Shell, sort of, like, modern dystopia trailer thing, right? That they were going to come out with some live action shit later on. That's what I thought.
No, it turns out it's the Army bragging about how they're,
At the fucking end of the video, I find out it's the Army bragging about how they're going to use propaganda on their own population and the enemy. And the enemy is whoever they say is.
Yes.
Like, what the fuck, guys? I genuinely thought this was anti-government propaganda, and you're sitting here smiling, thinking you did a good job advertising for your branch.
They're so disconnected they can't realize it. Because this thing was personally greenlit by someone in charge.
Oh yeah.
Multiple someones.
Not just greenlit, like heavily overseen. Like, this was an extremely well put together video. This wasn't the typical trash the Army puts out of like, look at this guy, he is big and strong, he fight for country, you fight for country too.
They don't do that anymore. No, it's my two lesbian moms.
I know, but what I'm saying is you can clearly tell this was personally handled and gone over with a fine-tooth comb of we want to create a fucking masterpiece to showcase how amazing we are.
Oh, absolutely.
This is what they produce, and not at one point did anyone go, hey guys, are we the baddies?
Complete lack of self-awareness.
Anyway, item number 7. Edited 2010. I can't stand stories where Naruto brings back Captain Emo when he defects from Konoha and gets banished for hurting the last loyal Uchiha. Well, you're not wrong. It's a very stupid story idea. And then he finds out an attack is coming to Konoha that will turn it into a smoking crater, and he still wants to save that fucking place. Okay, well, first off, Naruto would. That is his character type.
100%.
The fact that he didn't off the Uchiha after he betrayed the city, his nation, his air quotes brotherhood with Naruto, brought him back at immense danger to himself, and then kept going after him when he left again. You know? I just, it's kind of Naruto's character to do that.
There's a reason they say Naruto is Ninja Jesus.
Yeah. And so anyway, this guy goes on and says, "Oh, come on!" To quote Miz. Who the fuck is Miz? Really? Yes, really. Naruto would do that. That is his character type. If you think Naruto wouldn't save Konoha, despite air quotes banishing him, which they wouldn't do because he's their fucking nuclear bomb.
The absolute most they would do is say, go live on the outside of town. Maybe.
Not even outside the walls. Just, as far away from everyone else as we can get while still being in the city.
We're not kicking you out of the city. But we
More
are kicking
like
you out of every known area code.
Something, Naruto, you need to get stronger. Clearly, you're not capable of something, blah, blah, blah. You're gonna live on this training ground. Here are these Chunin teachers assigned to you. Go.
I mean, sounds reasonable. For a shonen anime.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Anyway, rant number 8. I edited in 2013. That's right, gentlemen. It took him 5 years for him to add to the Book of Grudges that he hates people who have problems with grammar.
Who is this?
Arso Tome, a writer who's written 261 stories.
Are any of them over 100K?
One of them. Yep. One of them.
Opinion disregarded.
And the only story that is over 100K is his scrap folder.
Opinion severely disregarded.
Yep. Auto Ninja. V2 of the old story. Transformers and Naruto crossover, where the Transformers are mechanical ninja.
But why though?
Oh, he wrote a Ranma Sailor Moon crossover too, where Ranma has to save the reality because Sailor Moon failed to. Look, I love Ranma. Ranma is not on the same power level Sailor Moon is.
Now, if you're telling me that you're about to make Ranma into a Sailor Scout, there's some comedy there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's always hilarious.
Yep.
Awful and overplayed, but hilarious.
I mean, there's a reason why it was overplayed. Because it's fucking hilarious.
Because it's hilarious.
Yeah. Did you ever see the Magical Girl Ranma one, where magical girls were a special ops unit controlled by the government?
Is that Heigeki?
I think it might be.
Wait, no. Heigeki is Magical Girl Civil War.
It might be the same story. As you know, Ranma gets hit with the cutesy bubblegum power shit from one of the magical girls, and it
that's
brainwashes
Heigeki.
him. Yeah, Heigeki then, yeah.
I keep meaning to read it. I read like the first 2 chapters, and that was all that was published at the time.
Honestly, read it. I thought it was going to be incredibly dumb. What the author did and where they went with it, I was like, wow. I'm so glad one single magical girl story of the entire section of Ranma magical girl stories ever made actually finished, and it was this one.
Can you link that one then? I guess I'll read it.
Sure, yeah, I'll try and find it.
Like shit, if it's Sneaky saying that, that's a hell of an endorsement, kids.
Monster High and a Vampire. A Rosario Vampire Monster High crossover. That's kind of cringe.
There's your link.
Is that it? Let me see.
It was on my favorites.
Huh.
chapters, 212K words, 515
Yes!
reviews,
Yep.
771 favorites, 575 follows.
Yep, it's this one. Yep.
Completed June 5th, 2013.
Yep.
So that story is a decade old. Curse of Ages.
Yep. Yep, this story. Goddamn. Yep. It was a good story. And I was honestly, I went into the story thinking it was going to be really stupid. My version of someone else's story, V2. Oh, God, this author is something else.
A human-shaped garbage pile.
Yes. Before you put your story out or any of its chapters, please pre-check your story. I have read 4 stories where Sweetie was spelled sweaty, or you know, like drenched in sweat, or sweet spelled like sweet as in the building. Okay, here is a list of words I see often. Blah, blah, blah. Don't fucking care. Rent number 9. No, edited in 2022. This man still is updating this damn grudge book. Jesus Christ. Also, it took him 9 years to update the grudge book. People who complain that writers aren't sticking to the continuity. I hate it when people complain that I'm not playing in the sandbox they came to read. It's fan fiction. Anything can happen.
Fucking read.
Just because. No.
If you play in this sandbox, you're supposed to play in the sandbox. You can add some new things and take out some things, but you have to keep the general shape of the sandbox. Otherwise, what was the fucking point of going to this specific sandbox other than the audience watching that sandbox?
Yeah, literally. It's just like, I don't care how much dog shit you put into your new sandcastle. It doesn't look good. I don't care. I don't care how much cat poop you ate.
Oh no, those are just Tootsie Rolls. The cat leaves the dog. It's fine.
You think just because it's a fictional story, you're supposed to be a fan of, we have to stick to that story when we're writing fan fiction? Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Kind of the point.
If I did that, that would defeat the purpose of writing a story I am a fan of. And it wouldn't be fan fiction anymore. No. It would be pretty thoroughly fan fiction if you're... As long as you literally aren't just writing canon. And I mean literally, as in the word literally. The actual definition of the word literally. If you are not sitting there transcribing Naruto into a novelized format, as long as you are not doing that, you are writing fanfiction of Naruto. As long as you make them all be ninjas, you make them all use chakra. The main character doesn't even have to be Naruto, but Naruto should probably exist in your story. Naruto should probably, in your story, be a blonde-haired ninja who is an orphan, and he has the Kyuubi in him. He should also be a positive, happy character. He should also, be a forgiving person who's a little bit of a tryhard and obnoxious because he was socially stunted. Not because he's an asshole, not because he's a brat, but because he was literally never socialized properly. Massive difference between those three, author. I realize that you're a little fucking shithead yourself, but I'm sure if you try sometimes, you'll find out just what you need to.
You are not the Rolling Stones.
I know. I'm making fan fiction of their line.
Cursed.
But yeah, no, fuck these college AU shits. Fuck this coffee shop AU shit. Unless it's literally like The Friends. And the coffee shop they all go to every day shuts down because the owner died and their living relative doesn't want to inherit it or whatever, so they're selling the coffee shop and it's gonna close. And the friends hatch this plan that they're all gonna collectively buy it to keep the coffee shop going so they can keep meeting at the coffee shop every day because it's their thing. And then along the way, they find out that it's harder than they thought, and they get into conflicts over it, and they generally do friends shit. That's fine. That works.
Doesn't work with Naruto because ninja gotta do ninja things.
Exactly. Also, it doesn't work with Naruto because coffee shops aren't really a thing because coffee is a specifically imported bean from a specific part of the country that wouldn't fucking exist.
More to be a tea shop.
Exactly.
Or
But
tea house.
on top of that, Naruto would never have the chance to become a tea shop owner unless specifically the setup for the story is that Naruto is being sent on an infiltration mission to, like, the country of tea or some shit, and he has to start up a tea shop as cover of being a merchant.
That would be an interesting little side mission.
You know what? Hear me out. That would be one of the only times I'll accept a Naruto Sakura pairing.
Yeah.
Or-
And you can even do the classic, very real thing, by the way. You can even do the classic thing of where they go on the mission and they pretend to be lovers, and then because they're spending so much time in proximity to each other pretending to be lovers, they start to develop feelings for each other, and various events occur that make them show a depth of their character that they normally couldn't show on the battlefield, making them actually form a genuine relationship for each other. All of that works. However, you have to keep in mind that this isn't just a T-Shop AU. This is still Naruto the ninja pretending to be a tea merchant, which means at some point in the story, unless you want to make it that little side mission, unless you want to make it this little 20k word snippet story, novella, I believe it's called. Unless you want to do that where it's this small, little self-contained thing, they go do the tea shop thing, the tea shop mission ends, with them, having some final battle, and they kill the merchant they were there to assassinate or protect, and then they go back to Konoha, and the story of Naruto continues. And you don't have to write the next 200,000k words to get to the end of Naruto. You just wanted to write that little, tea shoppy thing. That's fine. But if you're going to sit there and be like, no, I want to write 10 books about this, you have to keep in mind then that Naruto is a ninja woo-woo story, Shonen Jump, and at some point the tea shop mission has to end, and Naruto has to get back to doing Naruto things.
Naruto must return to accomplishing violence.
Yeah, effectively. That's a really good story premise. I would write that myself, but I have plenty of fanfic ideas. You're welcome. I come up with them quite often.
honestly, that might be something worth paying to throw money at Sign for. The problem is it'll never get done.
No, it'll never get done. Yeah.
I'm working on my shit.
No, you're not.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, I'm sorry.
second.
I'm sorry, hang on a second. That wasn't a comment on how far behind you are of schedule, which you are.
Bitch tits!
That was a comment on, there's no way I'm paying Sign.
Oh, well, that's also fair. Yeah, that's fair.
That's fair.
I just say, bitch tits, motherfucker, I am 3 stories behind on Young Girls Outer Heaven, and you fucking wrote Crow's Ruby story fucking 2 or 3 weeks ago. I don't want to hear shit about your order being out of order.
Because it stuck in my head and I couldn't get it out. That shit happens.
Oh, I'm aware. I'm just giving you shit over it. And then it becomes a reoccurring Family Guy skit. Hey, Sasuke, do you remember that time we went to the tea shop? Yeah, I mean, you could certainly reference back to it if you want. I mean, if you want to, do here's the thing. If you truly wanted to continue this whole Naruto tea shop arc, you absolutely could by making it multiple unconnected stories. Naruto and Sasuke go to the tea shop. Naruto and Sakura go to the tea shop. That's one side story. And then you make another side story and you're like, 6 months later, they need to take a break from missions again and get sent on another extended infiltration mission. And this time, they're running a restaurant together in the land of vegetables. And then you write another 20, 30k snippet. And then you're like, third story is like, okay, a year later, they're closer than ever before, and their relationship will now really be tested, because they're going to the land of blank as these blank people. And, this is going to be a trial for them, because Sakura doesn't even know how to XYZ, and, Naruto does, or whatever, and this is a point of conflict for them for the next 20k words, and then the story ends. It's not just the problem of these AUs existing, it's also the problem that these fanfiction authors, and generally, again, I understand, if you're a fan of something, you don't really want it to end. I get that. Obviously, you wouldn't be a fan of it, which is short for fanatic, if you wanted it to end. So I understand that the authors out there who are able to write a story and it gets popular, I get it, you don't want to stop your story. But sometimes you have to. There comes a certain point where the idea has worn itself out and you just have to stop it. You can pick back up, let the story progress off screen, the parts you don't want to write, and then you can get back to the parts you do want to write and make it a series of interconnected stories. But don't just keep ramming the same fucking idea down the hole, because eventually you're gonna hit clogs. And then you're just gonna have a backup, and it's gonna be covered in shit, and no one will like it anymore. Especially you, the author, who just spent the past 5 years writing it. Am I wrong, Sign?
Fortunately, no. You can get very, very disillusioned with your own shit. I've had it happen before.
Yeah, I know.
Repeatedly.
That's why I called on you.
I know.
That's very rude, Sneaky.
Yes.
It's not wrong. It's rude.
So, I really hate the stance that fan fiction, anything can happen. Because technically speaking, yes, anything can happen in fan fiction, because you, the author, are writing it. And technically speaking, there is nothing physically preventing you from writing it. However, ethically, morally, by the bounds of the fandom you are a supposed fanatic for, there is limits to what is fan fiction. It's just how it is. That's why the word exists. It's fiction written by a fan. If you're writing a Naruto story, where Naruto is actually a bald black guy named Jakim, it's taking place in the 600s of Asia, and, Jakim is a basketball player going to a university in China. That's not Naruto.
The more words you add, the more cursed it gets.
I know.
Continue to add words.
Stop adding words.
Deal as much psychic damage to this man as you physically can.
Don't worry, we have plenty of time for that.
Please don't.
And there comes a point where it stops being Naruto fanfiction and it just becomes fanfiction of your fucking little woo-woo world that isn't related to Naruto, that you're obsessed with because you decided to sit down and write so much of it. But it's no relation to Naruto. The only reason why you listed it as Naruto and reskinned all of the characters to be Naruto characters is because you know in your deepest subconscious that your little woo-woo world of bullshit, no one gives a fuck about it. Because it's garbage. And you know it's garbage because you reskinned everything to be Naruto. Because you know people will click on it. Because it's in the Naruto section. And there's a lot of people in the Naruto section and you might get some clicks. And so you'll sit there, all delusional, high on copium, with your 100 favorite Naruto story that isn't a Naruto story. It's not even remotely close to a Naruto story. It's the wrong genre. None of the Naruto characters actually exist into it. It's the wrong era it's taking place in. The wrong plot, the wrong premise, the wrong backstory. There's nothing that connects it to Naruto, but you made it Naruto because you were desperate for attention, not because you were a fan.
As one does.
I think what you said is a big issue with a lot of fan fiction that diverges from canon is how they tend to bend characters over backwards and ignore the rules and well established. The amount of Star Wars AU fanfics that are just like regular world modern day garbage. Yeah, pretty much, exactly. It's like Star Wars has a very like Star Wars is almost worse than any other fandom because the Star Wars universe is actually extremely massive in terms of content that you can bounce off of to justify your completely original story. You can write in Star Wars specifically a 100% original story with absolutely no named characters from the Star Wars series that already exist. And if you do it right, people will love it. Because the Star Wars series established the massive universe that it exists in. And so long as you are loyal to the fandom itself and the architecture that Star Wars delivers you on a silver platter, people will like your story.
And if you want more attention, you can occasionally name drop, some old figure in Star Wars history or some random person. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's the thing, right?
It's sort of like how with Knights of the Old Republic 2, they name dropped Revan. Revan had no relevance to the story at all. As far as people were concerned when playing Knights of the Old Republic 2, no one had any idea what the fuck the Exile was or what they had to do with Revan until literally pretty much the end of the story. But they name-dropped Revan a bunch, and a bunch of Star Wars fans knew who Revan was, and so they were like, okay, you said Revan, I'm interested.
Well, they name-dropped Revan a bunch, and they gave you stuff like finding records from Bastila.
Right.
Or T3, bringing back T3, bringing back HK, right? They threw a bunch of Revan, I don't know, Easter eggs in.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, it was a lure. And don't get me wrong, Coda 2 was good. Sorry. With a lot of my own writing ideas, I at least try to keep the lore and the characters consistent, especially with dialogue. Yeah, especially with dialogue. Dialogue is so key because dialogue can ruin your story. Like, if you have a fucking 10-year-old just roll out and start talking like he's some sort of 24-year-old educated college professor, it's cringy. It's weird. And unless you specifically comment on it, about how it's really weird for this character to talk like this, and how this affects their social life or something, and this kid's basically isolated from his peers and yada yada yada. Unless you do that, it's still really weird and off-putting, and people will be like, oh, well, I don't really like this kid that just showed up in the story, and they started talking like an adult all the time, and it's kind of just weird. They won't like it when your Mary Sue walks around and everyone's dialogue with the Mary Sue is just, oh my god, Mary Sue, you're so amazing. You do everything better than all of us.
Tanya pulled off the adult dialogue thing well because she's fucking educated at that point. She's been through military college. She has reason to speak the way she does.
She does, but the story still does point out multiple times that the adults are like, this child is weird.
What the fuck is up with this kid?
Yeah, this child is weird.
Exactly. They do cover that.
And specifically, they did show it negatively affected Tanya, and where basically all of her peers fucking hated her or were scared of her.
Most of the second one.
Because, well, boy howdy, the kid wrote a thesis on how to get away with war crimes.
And then go around and applies it in real life. Something's wrong with this kid.
Not even if she'd never enacted it. The fact that she wrote it.
Yeah. Which, a child saying, Lamau, blow up the village is one thing. The child being like, okay, well, first, I think the best thing to do would be to drop leaflets and announce over a wide area speaker using magic that we'll be bombing the village. And the reason why we would announce such things is that we would be able to then make sure everyone is very much aware that everyone left in the village after this time period is up is a combatant. Therefore, we're never actually bombing any civilians, because obviously a civilian, if you were told that your home was about to be bombed and you had 24 hours to leave, you would leave, right? And everyone's like, well, yeah. So, obviously, everyone that doesn't leave then would be a combatant, and therefore it's perfectly fine to bomb them.
But then we got the 10-year-old little girl who came up with it to do the broadcast while intentionally playing up the 10-year-old little girl thing, so it sounds like a little girl just playing with the speakers.
Right. Which makes her come off as an absolute fucking psychopath and terrifying to everyone that actually hears about it. But the thing is that as far as everyone's concerned, she did in fact announce that this area was going to be bombed and they should all leave.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, indeed. Also, the other village that she ended up bombing, because that was the ammo factory. I was also talking about the village she firebombed when they were trying to take the city, and she let the entire city know that she was going to firebomb the place. And she didn't even do the child voice that time, I think. But she was just like, "I know for a fact they're not going to leave, because they're not going to abandon their homes. But I don't care, because I want them to blow up." It's like, okay.
But then after, the master stroke on that was doing quote-unquote humanitarian aid by going and helping the actual civilians
Yeah.
who were fighting. So then she could point back and go, well, I mean, we told them and then we helped them, so obviously we didn't intend to commit any war crimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyone who was left, I mean, they
Clearly,
told them what was going to happen.
clearly
and
partisans.
Then we helped the ones that listened.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, clearly the rest are partisans. Yeah. So yeah, I really just hate people that use the justification that because I'm writing the story, therefore literally anything can happen. It's a complete disconnect from any sort of ethic. I believe the term is actually ethics. I know it doesn't sound right here, but it's actually ethics.
It does not sound right.
It doesn't sound right, but ethics is a guiding structure.
Yes.
Of rules and obligations.
Yes, but you're expressly applying this to writing, which is, it sounds wrong.
Yeah, like I said, it sounds wrong, but it's actually technically correct, and
Well,
you could almost say...
To be clear,
yeah.
Ethics, right from... Now, I know we have our arguments with Oxford, but it's still the first thing that pops up, right?
Right.
Moral principles that govern a person's behavior or the conducting of an activity.
Right. Well, moral principles in this case would apply to keeping true to the content of the story.
I see what you're saying.
Right? So, like, there is an ethical system for, say, telling scary campfire stories. You are obligated by a social moral when you are telling a scary campfire story that you don't have space marines drop down from an airdrop and start smashing all of the monsters because humanity, fuck yeah, eat shit, Xenos. You're obligated when telling a scary campfire story to attempt to make it A, scary, and B, a story that you are capable of quickly telling.
Yeah, you can't tell an hour-long story.
Right, exactly. So there is a guiding system of ethics when it comes to writing. There is a guiding system. I mean, you could also call it a philosophy if you want. There is a guiding system when it comes to writing fan fiction of a story that already exists. You are obligated, you're not required to, it's not a law. Shut the fuck up, everyone. Fucking hate these people who are like, oh, I'm not obligated to do anything. You are, by social standards. where
Social contract.
right, it's not even social contract, but it's like, again, it's like one of those things, like, it sounds weird when you say it, but it's like kind of basically where you're obligated by social understanding of, when it comes to telling a story, that if you say, hey Atin, I'm going to tell you a story about my day today, the story I'm about to tell Atin likely happened within about a 1 day's time of me telling it to him. And A involved me, either as a bystander to the event I am telling him about, or as a participant of the event that I am telling him about. If I say, Atin, let me tell you about a thing that happened to me today, and it's actually a thing that happened 5 years ago in an anime I watched.
Well, I'll
It was
have
weird
some
on that.
questions.
You know, it's... There is a set of guidelines, obligations, philosophy to the expectations that come with the words you use. If I tell you, I'm going to tell you, if I tell you I'm sending you a Harry Potter fanfic, you're going to assume several things. A, Harry Potter is going to be in the story. B, magic will be involved in the story. C, Harry is likely going to be going to Hogwarts, because that's what happens in Harry Potter.
Unless he goes to Beauxbaton.
I bombed that place. You know,
As you should.
but point being, though, is, like, even if it's not Hogwarts, you would assume it's probably going to be a story about Harry going to a magic school, or having exited a magic school. These are his adventures afterwards. But that brings me to point D. It's probably going to be a story about adventure, because a Harry Potter story, well, the series is an adventure. It's about one young boy and the friends he makes along the way as he goes through the adventure of his teenage life. And so, with all of those expectations, if the Harry Potter story I send you is about a 15-armed alien from the sun eating pink goats and then falling in love with the moon, you're gonna be like, why the fuck did you send me this and tell me it's a Harry Potter story? And my reply can't be, oh, it's fan fiction, anything can happen. The alien from the sun is called Harry Potter.
Oh, yes, makes complete and total sense.
Harry peaked in high school? True.
Read the cursed words above that.
Harry Potter, no magic coffee shop AU. Honestly, you could probably get away with it.
No,
But
it's still trash.
the premise would have to be Harry Potter gets his magic sealed, ripped out of him, something or other. And then the resolution to the story would either be Harry learning to live without his magic and accepting it, or Harry getting his magic back.
Yes, but that works on the whole fucking story point of magic being real in this world, and Harry has been, I don't know, mind wiped and sealed.
Well, it doesn't have to be mind wiped, because then he couldn't have a character development over
Alright.
it.
I'm getting dinner. This is... Fuck you people who do this. You all know what you did was wrong. You're an asshole. The end. Stein, hurry up and finish. Hurry up and get caught up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Get caught up with what?
Commissioned.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's wrap this up here. In my mind, if you think you can do a better job than the author, I say go for it, but let the rest of us not be as good as the author and write mediocrity.
Excuse you?
Wow. That's the excuse he's using. After all that, after justifying that anything can happen because it's fan fiction, you are really gonna sit there and be like, well, obviously anything can happen because it's fan fiction, because I'm a dog shit author and I'll never be as good as the original material, so why even try?
I don't know about anybody else, but when I'm actually writing something, I'm trying to write something good. I'm not trying for mediocrity to hit a just good enough to waste 5 minutes of your time.
Right, exactly. It's like, look, there is a saying, it's like something along the lines of, like, reach for the stars, because even if you fail, you'll at least have, traveled farther than many.
Exactly.
And it's literally yes, you are probably not going to write a better story than Tolkien. But if you go into writing your story going, I am inspired by Tolkien, and I want to write a story someday as good as him, and that's the attitude you go into writing your story with. That's the attitude you go into examining the ideas present in your story and how they're portrayed to the audience, and how the plot, is explained to the audience, and what's really going on, and have you really elaborated on the parts that need to be elaborated on, and are you over elaborating on parts that aren't being that don't need to be elaborated on. If you're putting a critical eye to your story going, I someday want to be great and amazing, then that comes off in your story. It comes off as passionate in your story, and people will respond to that. That even if you aren't as great of an author, you still believed in your story. You didn't sit there in the fucking shit and go, well, this is all I'll ever be. And then you shit out another garbage-ass story with a fucking retarded idea, and someone goes, man, you're sitting in a pile of shit, and your response is, well, I'll never be a good author, so I might as well just sit in it. Bro.
Being a good author is basically like anything else. It's practice over time, getting better over time, making minuscule improvements over time.
It's also admitting that there may be something to that structure that everyone else is talking about.
Ah, yes, that too. And learning how to take criticism without, shitting yourself.
Yeah, it's like, if you're sitting there building a house, someone comes up to you and goes, hey, you're supposed to put mortar in between those bricks. If your response is, well, why would I ever use mortar? What are you, a master bricklayer? This is how I build brick houses. You're never going to become a better bricklayer until you admit that maybe, the people who used mortar to place their bricks might be onto something. Maybe,
Getting fault.
yeah, maybe you invent a better mortar because you're like, oh, mortar's great and all, but it takes so long to make, and it's, it eats away at my skin, and it smells awful, and the materials are terrible. And you sit there and you make a better mortar that is cheaper or less harmful or quicker to dry. Great. Fantastic. But you would have never made that better mortar until you admitted that maybe the whole mortar thing might have some fucking value to it.
Or you go go with shaped interlinking bricks.
Yeah, or you go full fucking...
Entirely.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
or maybe you go so full rage bait that you go become the fucking Egyptians and go make a fucking pyramid out of nothing but perfectly gravimetrically shaped bricks.
Yeah, yes. Somehow do this all with slave labor in a time when they didn't have, the equipment necessary to move those things.
Well, I mean, technically they did. It was just,
Yeah, human equipment.
it would require a lot of logs that they didn't have, and a lot of food that they didn't
That
have,
they didn't have.
and a stone
Well,
quarry,
tools.
which we never found. But no, 100%, yeah, totally could have worked.
It's mathematically perfect, by the way.
Mathematically perfect, yes, of course.
Well, when you account for centuries of degradation.
I mean,
And then you cap it all off with gold.
no, yes, of course, obviously. All the gold you found, when you were digging up the marble that you also found. The millions of metric tons of marble
Oh, yeah, of course.
that you found and somehow just disappeared.
It's almost like it would make more sense for that shit to have been shipped in from somewhere else on boats.
Nah! No, the Egyptians made it themselves, of course. With that marble quarry they have in the desert.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. They couldn't have possibly gotten it from, I don't know, Rome or somewhere like that they might have had some ties with. Considering that the Egyptians shared some traits with the Romans there with the red and blonde hair.
Yeah, no, didn't happen. Nope.
No.
Nah.
Watching penises.
Yeah, indeed. Anyway, so rant number 10 also added.
I'm just still on that.
Yep. Rant number 10 also added in 2022. People who complain about your story, but then ask for you to review theirs. Why would you review my story then? No, I'm not going to your story. Good news, it got my attention. Bad news, it got my attention. Well, author, I accept your challenge. And we're not going to cover the other 10,000 fucking pages he smashed in here of copy-paste garbage. He also made a prayer, by the way, to Odin.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he made a prayer to Odin. I'll just post this here.
I'm sure Odin appreciates it.
Odin would appreciate you hanging a living sacrifice more.
Namely you.
You could hang yourself, yes.
The fanfiction author failed to realize that Tolkien's overarching themes that people in society may make degrade over time, and they're a number one example of that. Yeah, true. Big true. Absolutely true, yeah. And also, the other theme of Tolkien is that, evil cannot create, it only corrupts. It's up to the good to stop evil where they can. Good men aren't good men until they stand in the way of evil. Even at great odds, good men should stand before evil and say, "You will not pass." There's a lot of overarching themes to Tolkien that are about how basically self-sacrifice, standing up to evil no matter the cost, even if evil seems not that terrible at the time, you cannot let evil gain any sort of foothold anywhere, because evil will never be able to progress society or improve it. It will only destroy it and make things worse.
You get a little too base there.
I mean, this is a man who went through fucking the Great War.
Oh, yeah.
And he saw exactly what happens when you let people get complacent, when men stand before evil and allow it to happen. He watched a lot of people die that day. I don't stop dabbling on my dumb ideas because I enjoy talking and thinking about them. I sure as don't get far with my dumb ideas, even snippets, but I still have fun with them. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, though, is like, there is a length to everything. What if Naruto went on a prank war with all of Konoha? A cute little 5,000 word drabbly snippet where Naruto goes super, wild with the pranks, and it's this wild hijinky story. But it's 5,000 words long. Because you can't stretch it to 10,000 words. You can't stretch it to 15,000 words. You can't make a 100K story out of it. But it's perfectly fine as a little 5,000 self-contained little thing of like, oh yeah, this happened. Wouldn't it be funny? Same thing for a bunch of ideas. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if fucking Isaac Clarke was there fighting the necromorphs and then like Doom Guy showed up to help? Sure, make a, amusing little 3,000 word drabble. But again, you can't really turn it into a story because then you have to sit there and be like, alright, so fucking hell's real. Does that mean the necromorphs are escaped demons from hell? How do I square all this together? Are they completely separate? Are they related to each other at all? They're sort of similar and weird. Doom Guy, can the Doom Guy die to these things? It's like, it's kind of sad how little we acknowledge the traumatization of the Great War was for people. Oh god, no, I mean,
There's a reason why afterwards it was called people were called the Lost Generation.
yeah.
And the reason it was called the Great War.
Well, everyone thought like, oh, there's no way they'll have another one after that bullshit. What the fuck?
Yeah.
And then,
we did.
And then everyone was just like, hey, let's really punch Germany in the fucking dick.
Yeah, well, everyone was like, hey, let the politicians hash it out. I just want to go home. And then the politicians were like, let me line my pocket because I'm an evil piece of shit.
Yes.
And Tolkien saw, again, this is what Tolkien was talking about. He saw this. He saw the politicians create the next war because they were greedy and wanted to do cruelty upon someone.
Yeah, the Treaty of Versailles.
So, it's, and I mean, even then, you had, I remember seeing a video of a Vietnam vet and a Desert War vet sitting down. And, like, the Desert War vet told the Vietnam vet what he went through. And the Vietnam vet was like, holy shit, dude, I'm sorry, I feel sorry for you for having to go through that. Because it's like, did stuff change? Yes. Did less people die? Yes. Did shit become infinitely more fucked?
Yes.
Yes. It's like again, people really massively downplay, like, yeah, we have these big, massive examples of how fucking terrible the Great War was. Because, yeah, it's like men, whistle blows, and men go, okay, I guess it's my time to die now, and they get up out of the trench, and they run across this no man's land, get cut down, by this fucking, machine gun that's never been seen before, and then any survivors get blown up or shot, and then all the people left behind in the trenches get gassed and blown up by artillery, and then the other side does it and then you do it to them. It was fucked. And the Desert War, though, the Afghanistani occupation, was fucked in a whole different way, and people don't really recognize that because there's so much modern politics going on involved around it. I mean, the fucking war vet put it in a great way. It's like, a child's running towards you. Do you shoot the child? You didn't shoot the child. He blows up your two friends because he had a bomb underneath his collar.
Oh god, that shit was awful.
You shoot the child. It turns out he just had a car in his hand, and he wanted to show the soldiers it.
You shoot the pregnant woman. Turns out she was just pregnant, not wearing a bomb vest.
You shoot the pregnant woman. Turns out she was pregnant and wearing a bomb vest.
Ah, or that, yes, which I recall did happen.
Yes. And it's like, well, fuck. Or, other shit like you play basketball with the local Afghani children every day. Several weeks, they show up, you play basketball with a, half deflated ball that has got like a little crack in it so it keeps deflating no matter how much you inflate it. And you got some duct tape one day and you put it on there and it stayed a little bit better in shape, and you had fun tossing it into the one hoop the Afghani kids were able to put up on the wall. And then one day the kids don't show up. And the next day the kids don't show up. And the next day the kids don't show up. So you start asking around what happened to the kids. Eventually, one of the locals talks to you.
And then one day the kids do show up and they're all wearing
No.
very long clothes and they're kind of big.
Nope. This is a real story that actually happened. The local approaches them. They tell them what happened. A bunch of men approached the kids one night and kidnapped them. And then raped them to death. And left them dead in an alley.
Oh my god. Is that the story where the Marine company goes, okay, hang on a minute, and then tracks the guy down and kills him?
Yes.
I thought that sounded familiar.
Yep.
Yeah, I imagine that would cause that definitely sounds like what would happen. It would be like, okay, let's go find the guy, and then someone in the upper brass would get mad about it, yell at them, and try to get them like punished for it.
Oh yeah, and they got punished, and they're like, we don't care. This is what we're here to stop.
No. Yeah, that's like, we don't care. They killed a bunch of kids, and they did this, and they thought they could get away with it.
What are they going to do to the Marines? Send them back home?
Right, exactly.
In the middle of all that?
Yeah.
It reminds me of
but yeah, so like again, Desert Storm was absolutely fucked in a whole different way. Vietnam was fucked in a whole different way. Great War was fucked in a whole different way. World War II was fucked in a whole different way. And a lot of people place a lot more importance on the historical wars. Vietnam War was the same fucking way. When the Vietnam vets came home, people literally spit on them. And now our generation, and specifically millennials, not Gen Z, because Gen Z doesn't even know what a war is beyond that place in Afghanistan.
Lucky them.
And now our generation, when we look back on the Vietnam War, we realize how fucking terrible it was, and how terrible it was for those Vietnam vets. And how fucked everything was when it came to that war. Your squad, you're trapezing through low visibility. Someone's approaching you. Are they an ally or an enemy? Turns out they were an ally. But the enemy was actually in the bushes right next to you, and they just shot your friend. And you turned around to go help him, and you stepped on a landmine. And then three more guys rush out of the bushes and stab your other friends. It's fucked. In a whole different fashion. Oh yeah, plot twist, the rapist was working with the US government. Yeah. No, that's other stories. There was quite a number of stories where women and kids were getting raped by the Afghani government and was it the Iraqi? I think it was the Iraqi government too. Whatever government we were propping up in the places we were at war in, air quotes, they were horribly corrupt. And the reason why we put them into those positions of power was because they were willing to do whatever the U.S. Army told them to do. Pass whatever resolutions and laws the U.S. Army told them to pass. And so these corrupt-ass people who would rape and kill and murder and do a whole bunch of fucked up stuff to the local populations were kept in positions of power by, Johnny Appleseed and his goof troop. And, Johnny Appleseed and his goof troop were not happy to find out that the rapist that they just watched rape a woman to death is going to go free, and they're not allowed to do anything about him because he's the local governor.
See, that's when he becomes a friendly fire statistic.
Now, that did happen.
I was gonna say that's the kind of shit where it suddenly goes, yes. Hey, what happened to that governor? Oh, some dude threw a grenade into his room.
Dude,
I guess it was like
bad,
one of the
bad artillery
insurgents.
coordinates. He was off by he got the numbers inversed.
Oh no, it would not be artillery. It'd be someone. I guess someone stabbed him. They stabbed him 27 times. Oh yeah. They stabbed him in the dick 3 times.
No, what happened
those
was-
insurgents. Yeah.
No, what happened was he fell because in the UCMJ, it doesn't matter what the truth is. The truth is whatever the most people get signed statements say happened. So
Pretty
if they
much.
say, I don't know, he fucking fell, then, well, I guess he fucking fell.
Yeah,
Onto his
reminds me of the shit with
Yeah.
What was it? The fucking hunt in Colombia. Why am I blanking?
Colombia?
There was a story about how police in Colombia were literally just like when Pablo Escobar was around. They were literally like, "Oh, what happened to that capo? Oh, he died in a gunfight," which was code for we shot the shit out of him and tortured the shit out of him because he was killing people. Like that's what they would do.
No,
to
you're
capos.
talking about the town that stood up to its bully, right?
No, that was a common
No,
thing.
I think he's talking about the Punisher governor.
Oh, the Philippines or
out.
the
No, it was in Colombia.
Oh, Pinochet?
Pinochet?
Yeah, but they wouldn't. Anyway, it's a very common thing. It turns out if you piss off enough people, they kind of turn around and all kill you, and then say, "Oh, well, he fell downstairs."
As they should.
Pinochet was
So
chilly.
imagine there was definitely a dressing down afterwards because he knew what they did.
Well, I mean, it depends.
Depends on how much that lieutenant also wants to be a friendly fire statistic.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Yep. Anyway, yeah, so it's just, I mean, this guy goes, Jesus Christ, this guy really goes on and on and on and on about how not gay Naruto and Sasuke are. Copy-paste about this, copy-paste about this. If you believe the truth about Naruto and Sasuke not being gay, and the only true pairing is Naruto times Hinata, copy and paste this onto your profile and add your name.
But they're not gay, and the only true pairing is Naruto Hinata because, well, that's how it ended up canonically.
If you worship manga, copy-paste this into your profile.
No.
No.
If you hate Danzo, copy-paste this into your profile.
Why?
Then he fucking puts a theme song in his profile. And then, Jesus Christ, so much fucking copy-paste. And a bunch of quotes he's copy-pasting that are just completely random. Like, oh my god, he's the Pope, Conan O'Brien. Okay? Attention, there is a scheme the FF staff are brewing, and they plan to take down mature adult stories in the mature section. So on the 23rd, no author will log in, and we'll show them what happens when they dare enforce their site rules.
Literally nothing happened.
I sure hope there's another FF purge happening soon.
If enough authors don't show up to update their story on the 23rd of June, Fanfiction will know we mean business.
Actually, I think they'll breathe a collective sigh of relief because they'll have 24 hours away from you fuckheads.
24 hours
Yes.
where they can catch up on the purging queue.
Oh,
I keep saying, man, fucking, I don't care if I'm making $25 a fucking year. Give me the power, FF. Give me the power. I will spend every waking moment turning this hell site into a proper Christian website.
Just do it with
And I'm not
cronyism.
even
There
Christian!
you go. Just spare my stuff. You can take out everybody else's.
no, sorry, you're gonna have to go on the list, man.
I'm an equal opportunity annihilator.
Well, I guess that's fine. I can just repost it.
If anyone has information on when the purge will begin, please tell me in advance. Copy and paste this into your story if you support the author blackout. Yeah. June 23rd. Yeah, I don't think anything happened there, buddy.
June 23rd of what year, though?
Nah, assumedly this year.
Oh.
Yeah, but how far down his profile is this, and is it surrounded by a literal sea of other bullshit? Nobody
Yeah.
saw it.
It is.
Oh, he's got a point.
Nobody fucking saw that. Nobody read that far. Nobody reads profiles. We read your stories, and that's it, and your favorites.
Yeah, except actually there's a lot of fucking names of authors that I recognize on here, and they're all really dog shit authors. Like VF Snake is on here. Kyubi 16.
Dog shit.
Yes, he is.
He's not great, but he's not dog shit. I think he had one or two stories I liked.
Kyubi 16, Lemon Sage.
That's a name I recognize from several.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Isn't that Arrow Sanin and he changed his name?
Something like that. Third Fang, the IRA Assault, Single Silver Eye.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it should. Soul Blazer 87. Oh, how cringy is this? Top 10 underrated characters. Number 10, Phil Coulson.
Someone tries to put fucking Sasuke as an underrated character again. I swear to God.
Naruto is a number 9. Number
I'm telling you,
9, Foot Lettuce. Nobody likes foot lettuce.
What the fuck is a no, never mind, don't answer.
Number
Fire me all you
9,
want, you
underrated
can't
characters. Naruto Uzumaki. Come on. Naruto is a massively underrated character. He's totally pathetic. He's got this big history, yet he's like a little bitch. And I would totally, if I was in his place, like, turn the village into my harem. Okay, author.
Okay.
Number 8, most underrated character, Harry Potter.
What the fuck is that?
Harry was the only one that could have destroyed Voldemort. And he was betrayed, abused, and masterminded by Albus Dumbledore. Because Harry never reached his true Giga Chad potential as a wizard, and decided to be manipulated by Dumbledore instead. That's what pissed me off. J.K. Rowling should have known better.
I can't believe J.K. Rowling didn't know better to just
What?
follow fantasies. Well, why didn't you just follow the fantasies of like all these idiots?
Number 7, top underrated character, Ranma Satome.
I can't fucking unhear it in like this Chill's voice. Number 7.
Number 7.
Number 15.
Fuck off.
Number 15 most underrated character, your spleen.
Ranma Satome is the 7th most underrated character because Naruto and Harry are like not as cool as Ranma. And Ranma knows it. He's also like the greatest martial artist in the world and is very talented. Simple as that. If you have to marry a girl who, when you first meet her, she says she's glad you aren't a guy, something is wrong. That makes him the 7th most underrated character.
That is that is not how that word works. I don't think that word means what you think it means.
Number 6 most underrated character, Luigi.
A fucking course.
It's Luigi, motherfucker. The green-suited younger brother of Nintendo's mascot is very underrated because he looks like he's a coward and never gets women. What?
Nope, I'm done.
What?
How
He's
fucking dare you?
underrated because he doesn't have sex.
I have to ask, are you actually serious? Are these things really being written from on his thing?
100%. I am reading this straight.
I thought some of this was exaggerated. I'm like, hold on, he's going a little too hard on this. If this is just a shit post.
No, this is legit.
Oh my God.
Even
Jesus
when they
Christ.
created Daisy so he could get a girlfriend, who rescued her? Mario. In the epic rap
This is
battle
like-
against the Wright brothers, he acted like DMX, which was understandable, but Luigi will be Luigi. What?
What the fuck did I just hear?
What? How does
That's
that
what
have
makes
anything
that
to do with
matters.
him being underrated?
Nothing.
Oh, sorry, CC. I didn't mean to miss your comment there. You should have fun with your writing, even if it's not the strongest plot. I take that back a little bit. You should make your plot make some relative sense. Oh, yeah, it's like I said, it's like if you really want to write a certain type of story with these specific characters, it doesn't take a lot. It genuinely doesn't take a lot. But you do have some minor restrictions. You'll never have a sci-fi Naruto story. Because it just wouldn't make sense. And it wouldn't work. But you can have a Naruto runs a tea shop story so long as you keep it short. Because it works in small bursts. It's like It's like it's a car. You got your gas tank, and you got your gears. Going in first gear, going nice and slow down that road. You can take the time to explain things. Going in 6th gear, you're going to burn out that gas a little bit faster, and you're going to reach the end of the road sooner. And what gear you're going in is effectively, to really try and shove it into this single metaphor, is effectively how related it is to the series. If you want to write an action-packed Mass Effect story where Shepard, the Normandy crashes on this planet, and the crew of the Normandy with Shepard have to fight their way through a horde of aliens or some shit, or it's an old robot plant that got shut down because they tried to make it more efficient because they had an AI plugged into the whole thing, and then it went crazy, so it got abandoned, and now by crashing their ship into it, like reactivated the proximity sensors and turned everything back on or some shit, and now they have to survive and fight their way through it. You can make that like a fucking 120k word story easy. But if it's fucking, Shepard running a sandwich shop, it's gonna be like a 5k word story. Because Shepard wouldn't run a sandwich shop. He would He's a special operations soldier who likes saving the galaxy. He's kind of busy doing things like saving the galaxy and getting special operations training and being a soldier. So if you really want him to run a sandwich shop, you can't go for that long because there's other shit that's going on. You know? Anyway, back to the most underrated characters. And I know you guys won't see this one coming. Because it's John Cena! It's John Cena.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm 100% serious. John Cena.
You know what? That's enough. I think I'm done. Good night, everybody.
The reason why John Cena is the fifth most underrated character is because he likes wrestling. That's it.
Sneaky, why is this still going?
We have Xander Hart from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, fourth most underrated character. And he's underrated because, I think he is. The third most underrated character is Ron Stoppable. And he is underrated because he helps Kim Possible save the day, and he's a hero.
And he is rated exactly where he needs to be.
But he's the third most underrated character, Max.
That's because this author is an idiot.
The second most underrated character is Curtis Stryker.
That's a brave take in today's current climate.
And the reason why Curtis Stryker is an underrated character is because he's a cop in a martial artist tournament who shoots people in the face, and that's why he's an underrated character.
Kano shoots people with a laser eye. Sonya Blade also shoots people with a gun.
Yeah, but they're not cops.
Are they? I was about to say, are they cops? No.
Kano's an international criminal, and Sonya Blade is an authority.
And the top
figure.
number
She is
one most underrated character is Santa Claus.
What?
I don't believe you because that's being blocked by chat.
There. Yes, that's right. The most underrated character is Santa Claus because he works on the night of Jesus' birthday.
But no, author, no. Jesus' birthday is not the 25th. I'm sorry. It's not the 25th
Some would
either.
say that he's in league with God and Jesus, but actually Santa Claus is a god in his own right.
No. Author, no.
So we should all make effigies and worship him.
I don't know what to do.
He didn't actually write that part.
Yeah, okay. Alright. Are we done?
Yeah, we're pretty much done here. He goes on to do some more copy paste shit. He also has a Twitter.
No.
Not surprised.
No, please no.
Okay, we're done after this. Hey guys, I am also on Patreon. My tiers go from $2 to $500.
What?
If you pay me $2, I'll take it as a tip. If you pay me $5, I'll add you to my thank you video I post to YouTube. If you add $10, you get to have a cameo. I don't know if that's in the video or the stories.
Or
the stories.
If
If
you
you,
mean a cameo like the website cameo.
I don't know. If you pay me $20, oh, it is, yeah, okay, yeah. If you pay me $20, I won't give you a cameo in my story. You'll be a perpetual character in my story.
Oh god.
No, I only allow
500.
for 500 of these. I mean, I guess if you write 261 stories, you can fit 500 fucking characters in.
Does he have anybody on that $500 tier?
We'll see. $50, I'll write a one-shot for your character. 200 slots available. At $100, I will print out one of my stories, sign it, and send it to you. Only 10 slots, please.
Yes, because this printer doesn't have that much ink.
At $500, I will write a one-shot and sign it and frame it and send it to you.
You
Hey,
know,
now.
I can take the 50 tier and the other tier. I could save that money, do it myself, and go get me some groceries for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Bro,
I could take that 50 and give it to Sign.
Yeah.
Who, like, I trust his writing. From what I've heard, it's probably good. I still haven't read any of your stuff.
Oof.
It's alright.
Dude, I don't go reading fan fiction.
That's fair.
But like, here's the thing: if Sneaky says that what he's read of you is good, it's probably good.
But I'd like to circle back and get onto this. Where can you spend $50 to get food for the next month? I need to know, because my food bill for the month is something like $200.
Oh, you do the Sneaky diet, rice and eggs, and that's it.
Oh no, fuck no, no! I do steak and
Yeah.
chicken.
No, dude, $50 will get you enough rice and eggs for like 2 months. Sneaky's done it.
This dude has a Wattpad.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Into the
Into the
Arcverse,
Arcverse. Oh no.
everyone but John shows up to watch the many AUs of John.
And this is probably inspired by Core Alaron.
Most likely.
Probably. Wow. Oh man, he's got an AO3 page.
Of course he does.
He's got a YouTube page. Oh. Oh. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no, Arthur.
Oh god.
He should have known better.
I'm gonna be honest. This is not what I expected. This is not what I expected.
Oh,
I have found his YouTube page. His YouTube page name is 49-year-old otaku.
Oh no.
As of 10 months ago, he hit 50. He has an 18-minute video where he talks about Dark Love Hinata.
Is that? Oh no. Hinata and Raikage.
Max, I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. I think it's the graying beard. As this man talks about anime for kids. I think that's what does it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no, Naruto was actually written for all audiences.
I'm aware. But he's talking about pairing two children together in his fanfiction stories. With a graying beard.
That's fair.
Yeah. This... he has got a 14-minute rant video. I hate cowards.
Author, no. No.
Well, it looks like what he's doing the same thing as us. He keeps changing the name of his channel / his videos being posted. Based on how old he is. 44-year-old otaku, vlog 1. 45-year-old otaku, vlog 1. 46-year-old otaku, vlog 1. Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god.
He even tried to make his own anime at one point.
No.
Yeah, with that fucking 2D art animator.
Rarely have I seen anything quite this cursed.
And Microsoft Sam doing the voices for
Oh,
everything.
Oh no.
Well, credit where it's due. He tried. He didn't
Yeah.
necessarily succeed, but he did try.
Yeah, okay, you can give him that. He tried, yes. But he failed spectacularly.
Watch it actually.
Yeah.
We could check him out after stream. Watch it actually be like halfway decent for some reason.
Doubt.
I
Tapping
somehow
that X repeatedly. Just
look. I realize I'm being incredibly hypocritical here, but I also do acknowledge our quality level, and I've even asked people in the past why the fuck are they watching us. So I come from a position of only slight hypocrisy. This dude's been making videos for 5 years now. The most views he has is 11. He's got 11 subscribers. He probably doesn't have a point. That, or it's the fact that he's a 45-year-old otaku that's kind of putting people off. But someday we will be there. Someday it will be you.
I'm going to have to remove all signs of my age. Just delete it everywhere so no one knows how old I actually am. Hit 40, just delete it. No, I have no age. I'm without age.
They're coming for you, son. You're right on
Yes.
that corner.
I was with it until they changed what it was. Now the new things are scary and I don't understand them. And someday it will happen to you too.
They're not scary, they're fucking stupid. There's a difference. Scary in how fucking stupid they are, maybe.
I was more quoting Simpsons than anything.
I don't remember that episode.
Yeah, it's Homer's dad was telling Homer that he aged and he used to be with it, and then as time went on, what it was changed, and he doesn't understand what is now it. And it will someday happen to Homer as well.
Yeah, fair point there, Abe.
Yeah, so, through my extensive search, the one thing I could not find, I found his Wattpad, I found his Facebook, I found his YouTube page, I found his AO3 page, I found his Harry Potter Dark Lord fanfiction page. I could not find his Patreon page. So I'm going to go on a limb, ladies and gents, and I'm going to say he is probably not earning money off his stories.
Hang on.
Also, I was thinking of doing requests, but money is tight, so I can only do 5 chapters for free, and then I'll charge you $1 for a 6th chapter, and for every chapter after that, it'll be $2. His chapters average 2,000 words. You could get this dude to write War and Peace for like 100 words for like $100. Now, admittedly, it would probably be a really shit story and not sell as well as War and Peace, but
The option is there,
it is there.
and that's what matters.
Yeah. Man is
You
pretty
might need to be
desperate.
logged into his profile.
Why? Is it a NSFW?
Probably. I know on Subscribestar you can search mine, you can find it, but you had to be logged in to view anything. So maybe Patreon works the same way. I'm searching for his shit now. My connection's just slow.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Is the Patreon link he gave not working?
No.
Boom. Maybe he deleted it.
Or maybe he got kicked off.
Or both. He was given a friendly warning.
All right, let's see his latest story here. We got a 10-year-old chapter 3. Wataru. Shit, that's not Shin Megami Tensei. Fuck, it's the story about the kid who's actually the Emperor of the Universe. Fuck.
I'm hopping off because it is now 10:15 on a work night.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it done.
Fucking hell.
While you're figuring that out, Sneaky, later.
Yeah, I'm leaving, yeah.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, I'll just close this up here, gentlemen. Have a good night, but come back on Friday, because there's always more, and it always gets worse.